Right, they're a beautiful big male leopard. This is my first time, well, my second time seeing him. I saw him on foot this morning, and he's the new boy in the western sections of Djuma, pushing Tingana further to the east. And I'm just going to see where he's off to. He might head off for a drink. It is nice and warm, about 27 degrees Celsius, 80 Fahrenheit, so not blistering by any means, but definitely warm. Okay, he's going to lie down. Let's move a little bit. Remember, this is 100% live, and what a wonderful way to start the afternoon safari. So while I try and get you a better view of Hokamori, let's go across to Madam McCurdy.
Well, I can't tell you how excited Brent has been all day long trying to find, well, he's been bragging about it all morning, how he's going to get Hukumuri. My name is Taylor McCurdy, and on camera with me is David. We've got some crazy squirrels going up and down this tree. Let's see if they're going to come out. I doubt it, though, because they like to hide away. But they're up in this, what have we got here? Is it a knobthorn? No, it's black monkey orange. And there's some nice cavities. So hopefully they'll come back out again. Perfect habitat for squirrels, in fact. And they're quite entertaining at the moment, because when we do find them, normally they've got big marula nuts running around in their mouths, stashing them away in preparation for the drier times that are ahead, because winter is on its way. How cool is that? Now, if you haven't joined us on a safari before, it's good to have you on board. Remember, you can chat to all of us. You can hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or you can talk to us via the YouTube chat. I think I may be a bit close to this tree. They don't trust us. Hey, David. I wouldn't trust me either if I was an animal. Off we go. So our plans this afternoon are to try and find Shidulu, which is a female leopard that Steve had this morning on the safari. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a little scrounge around and see if we can pick up on where she's gone to. We have already checked Galago Pan, thinking that it's a hot day. She did have a meal. She's probably going to want to have a drink. But sadly, no luck. What we will do, though, is go down to the original spot, to where she was, and see if she's maybe just somewhere around there. Right, off you go, though, to Brent, who already has a leopard.
It's always very exciting to see a leopard you've never seen before, and particularly a new male with all the sort of dynamics that change, and he is really, really beautiful. He is very fat and happy at the moment. And you can see eyes closed. And he's lucky it's not too hot today. Now, of course, I've been gone for so long, I don't know too much about the Hukumuri. So if anyone's got some information for me, because apparently it's a mis-ID. He's not from the Hukumuri in Ottawa. He could be from somewhere else. So if anyone's got some information about the Hukumuri male leopard for me, I would love to have it. Hashtag Safari Live. It would be great to see if you guys know a bit of his history and where he's from. And I nearly forgot to tell you that it's the boys from the borough on drive today. So Senzo and myself are both from the same small town. We're born in the same small town in the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands. So nice to be back on the vehicle with Senz. As I said, it looked like a kudu from what we could see, or kudu or big inyala. Difficult to say, actually. And there's a tiny bit of meat up in the tree there, almost nothing left now. There's some more on the ground. But I think the majority of the carcass was stolen by hyenas at some point early this morning. Is that the piece of meat? Yes, well spotted there, Sens. There's a piece of meat in the grass there. You can see how well his camouflage works in the shade like that, how those rosettes break up his outline and make them, that's what makes them one of the more difficult animals to find often. But here on Djuma we are very lucky with the amount of leopards we see. Now, since I've just seen Hukumuri, I'm going to work out quickly how many leopards I've seen on Djuma in my time with Safari Live. Now, of course, the Queen, Karula, her two boys, Quarantine and Kunyuma. So, wait a minute, what's it? Karula, Quarantine, Kunyuma, Mvula, Tingana, Shadow. Now, I'm not going to count, I suppose I should count the cubs and that have died. No, maybe not. Let's not count the cubs that have died. That's a bit morbid. So, ones that have made it to adulthood. So, Shadow, Salahesh, Kwatile, well, Ingrid Dam, which is now Shidulu, Nchila, and that's 10. Now, obviously, Hasana and Shungile. So we got 12. Tamba, Tandi, Gajima. I'll keep going. There must be more. I'm going to have to wait because I was going to take a while. I'm on 16 already, and I know I'm missing quite a few. We had some leopard sightings of leopards that just popped in and out. So while I try to figure that out, let's go back across to Steve to see what his plans are for the afternoon.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all having a wonderful morning or afternoon, wherever it is you may be. Welcome. My name is Steve Falconbridge. I'm joined again by Mr. Seb Rombi on camera. We are coming out this afternoon. We are hoping to see if we can follow up on any activity of those buffalo from this morning. But while we're doing that, we're also checking on the dams. Who knows what might come in and out. Definitely on a day like this, it's warmed up a bit from this morning. We could have animal movements. There's lots of elephant tracks around. So lucky that Brent has managed to find Hukumuri again. All the hard work that the bushwalk team put in this morning is paying off. And I'm sure he told you to send your questions and comments through to hashtag Safari Live and follow us on the YouTube stream. Let us know what you'd like this afternoon. We're going to quickly check the dams. Maybe some lions have decided to follow those buffaloes in. That could be cool. And then barring that, we're going to go over to Chitwa and see what's happening that side. So jump on board, fasten your seatbelts, get your popcorn and snacks ready. Let's have a fantastic afternoon drive. I'm super excited. Seb is on camera with me, as I said, and he's super excited. He hasn't been with me in a few days already, Seb. Been missing him. So maybe it'll be a day that Hosana, the little prince or the little chief leopard, decides to show himself again, because you all know out there how much he likes Seb and myself, and he hasn't had a cameo for a couple of days. I'm sure he is feeling a little bit left out of this story, with the Shidulu female filling up the airtime for the last 3 drives. Yes, yesterday morning, yesterday evening, and this morning. So she has definitely taken some of Hosana's airtime and giving Tandi a little bit of respite. So once we check Treehouse Dam, we're going to zoom around across to our eastern side and see what's happening at Buffelshoek, and obviously on the way see where those buffalo have gone. Okay, so while we go in search of the water and these animals, let's go back to Brent Leo Smith and that very, very dangerous looking Hukumuri.
Well, here we go. Well, he's not looking too dangerous at the moment. He's not facing us. He's just panting heavily and digesting. So I worked it out. It's about 27 different leopards in my time at Djuma. Now, of course, that's not really counting the ones from Cheetah Plains and Chitwa and around. Those are just purely seen on Djuma. So quite a few. Not very many places in the world can boast in about 2 years 27 different adult leopards. Now, and I didn't include a lot of the cubs that didn't make it to adulthood. So I think with those we could be close to 30. Kathy is wondering, has Hukumuri officially taken over Tingana's territory? Not all of it. So I would say Hukumuri is doing almost exactly what Tingana did many moons ago. He took over the western sections of Mvula's territory, and then Mvula moved further to the east, and that's what's happening to Tingana now. From what chatting to everyone here, it seems like he will go as far as sort of Quarantine, maybe as far as the Mawati, but for the moment it tends to be on the southwestern sections, and Tingana still holds most of the eastern sections. Now, of course, that can change, and it all depends on condition of Tingana, condition of Hukamuri. Does another new male come in? So this is quite an interesting time to be watching the leopards here on Djuma, because there is going to be a little bit of upheaval. Now, of course, with Hukamuri moving into the western sections, that has moved Tundi and Cub quite a lot further to the east, and spending quite a lot of time in Torchwood and Buffalo's Hook. And I think it all depends. If Tundi's cub doesn't make it to adulthood, she will move right back into this area and happily mate with Hukamuri and Tingana for that matter. But up until that sort of little leopard gets to 16 months, 17 months, although maybe a little bit younger, she's going to try avoid Hukamuri at all costs. It seems like, he's up. He's just turning around to try to find a bit more comfortable spot because of the heat. But in the meantime, it sounds like Steve's search of the waterholes is paying off. Let's go see what's about to go for a swim or a drink.
Thanks, Brent. So we found this young elephant bull very close to Treehouse Dam. Not drinking, not doing anything too close to the water, but busy feeding, being quite selective of what he feeds on, and he is primarily picking very nice juicy grasses that are growing off of that termite mound. As he slowly disappears behind it, let's see if we can just move a few meters forward, get him on the other side. He thinks he can hide from us. He's trying to pull a Hukamuri with the termite mounds. Those of you who have been watching the show will notice how Hukamuri really enjoys. Have you got him there, Seb? There we go. So what we do know, I mean, Hukamuri likes the termite mounds. He likes to find the warthog and get them out of their burrows. But what we do know is the termites recycle all the nutrients into the soil, and so whatever grows on a termite mound has generally got a higher nutrient value than stuff growing around it. And you'll often find the browsed vegetation on the termite mound is always a little bit more than around it, because there's a few more nutrients, and elephants are smart enough to know that. Not that it's that important this time of year, because there's nutrients all over the place. There he's busy digging in amongst what looks like a white raisin, one of the grievous species. He's digging in with his trunk, trying to pick whatever grasses might be growing underneath. He's going to come around for us, folks. There he is. Hello, beautiful. Now, very easy to see that it's a young elephant bull straight away, because you find him on his own. You wouldn't find a young female on her own. If you did, it would be a bit unusual. But I've been trying to get him to turn to see his right ear, because we saw a very nice bull the other day with the right ear who was playing lots and lots of games with us, and still haven't seen his right ear. He's trying to hide it from us, but he's not behaving the same way as that bull did. That bull was trumpeting and running and being very sneaky. Yep, and that's the way the cookie crumbles, and we have lost sight of this beautiful elephant bull. But no worry, our search continues. Treehouse Dam, there's not too much going on. So, yes, Jason. Jason can't believe how big they are. Well, Jason, that's quite a small guy, actually. They get twice as big as that. When you see a proper elephant bull, one of the big tuskers, you are really, truly mind blown at the size of them. I mean, they can get up to 6,000 kilograms. So that's about 13,000 pounds. When I was in Lawande National Park a few years ago, I'm having an absolute hash of a turnaround here. I do apologize. I reversed into a bush that had very sharp spines in it, and Seb's my good friend. I don't want to injure him. Not today. Hey, Sebi. And I was in Lawande National Park 2 years ago with African Parks. They were doing some translocations of the elephants there. Prince Harry was there. And each elephant that was picked up, so they were darted, they were moving it from Luwande up to Nkota Park further north, where the poaching has decimated the elephant in the north. And now African Parks is there managing and really sorting out everything that's going on. So they were going to move 500 elephants in 2 years. So they moved about 280 something in the first year. And I was there during that period, and I was fortunate to be involved with the removal of 9, a family herd of 9. But they were weighing every elephant that went on, because the crane that picked the elephant up had a big scale on it, and the one elephant bull weighed 6,800 kilograms. That's just incredible. That's incredible size. And he wasn't even the biggest bull that they'd seen in the reserve. So I think a lot of what we think of with regards to elephant weight is a guess, because they did used to cull elephants back in the park, in the Kruger back in the day, but I doubt they actually had the mechanisms to weigh what those elephants weighed. It's possible they just calculated what they got out of it at the abattoir, so to speak. But 6,800 is an enormous elephant, kilograms. So if you just times that by 2.2, I think, that is ridiculous, Beck says. Can you see the kudu over there? Ravinda wants to know about if elephants have 6 layers of skin. Ravinda, I don't know about 6 layers. I know they've got an outer sort of the hide layer. Then there's a lot of fatty muscle tissue inside, but I really have no idea the number of layers. I know that there's estimated to be about 100,000 muscles in the elephant's trunk, which allows it to turn the trunk right, left, up and hook up towards the mouth, and also the typical sort of trumpet lift up in front of it. And also each of the valves are able to work independently, so they can either trumpet or suck up water. And we're just losing sight of a female kudu there, I think. Oh, is it a young male? Young male, just with the little horns. And another one is coming in from the back there. Absolutely fantastic how we can get kudu in this environment, and they are so invisible. The one that wasn't that invisible was the one that Hukumuri and his hyena have decimated. And Brent, if you were watching this morning, offered me up some liver, which was awesome. Not really, but let's go back over to Brent, the jokester, and see what he's happening to do with Mr. Hukumuri.
Yes, it was quite funny to try and get Steve to eat some liver. I'm just moving because looked like he was about to go up the tree, but he's up. There he is. Now, he's not as relaxed as some of the leopards we get here, so he's by no means unrelaxed, but I just don't like moving too much or too quickly around him. I think he might be going for a drink. Elizabeth is wondering, how does Hukumuri's size compare to other dominant males? Now that I can see him up a little bit and on the move, he's a good sized male leopard. Probably a little bit smaller than Tingana when Tingana is at his prime, but often that doesn't mean anything, because if you look at Mvula was actually very small for a dominant male leopard. But often it's not the size of the cat, but the size of the fight in the cat. And as I say, I think he's heading down to have a drink. So what I'm going to do, I just want to make sure where he's going. So there he is. He does have some meat stashed down here as well. And that was the original meat we found. As I say, I don't want to pressure him too much. And I say, I don't know this leopard as well as I know the other leopards. So I'm going to give him a fair bit of distance and respect. We want him to become as relaxed as Tingana and the other big males we get in this area. So we don't want to put too much pressure on him. So we're just keeping our distance while he's moving. When he lies down or whatnot, then we'll stop a fair distance away. So I'm hoping he's going to go climb up that fallen, I think it was a fallen knobthorn, if I remember correctly, that's where I got Steve's liver from this morning, was around here. So this is, what happens is it looked like he caught the kudu drinking at a pan. Oh, it's going to be nice light. Get ready with your screenshots. He's found something in the grass there. I'm sure that, as I said, there's lots of bits of meat spread out over quite a distance. Isn't that beautiful in that afternoon light? Now, Guide Monkey says, well, I was asking a question. Is it fair to say that predator territories are more about sort of avoiding or finding the least confrontation for the best territory rather than over resources? I would say that plays a part of it, but I would say resource and female availability is what drives predator territories, specifically when it comes to the big cats. So where you've got an area that's resource rich, you've got a lot of females. And a male leopard, a male lion, they're sort of driving force is to mate and make sure that their genes get passed on. So he's going to go have a drink. Let me just zoom around quickly now that he's got some space. So this is actually where he killed the kudu. And I'm just going to try and get to the other side. Looks like he's going to go find a shady spot to have a drink. Oh, hold on. We're nearly there. Let's just have a quick safety shot from here. Let me just see, there we go. I just want to try and go very slowly. As I said, he's not quite as relaxed as Mr. T and Co. Oh, guys, get ready. This is going to be gorgeous. Look at that face. Now we've got a nice frontal view of him. Tanushi is wondering, how do we identify the different leopards? Now, of course, when you spend a lot of time with them, you get to know them individually, and you can see body shape, size, all that type of stuff. But the best way with new leopards is the spot pattern above the last line of whiskers. So you can see there, that last line of whiskers, he's got 3 prominent spots above it. So each leopard has a spot pattern that's like a fingerprint. Look at that nice scar. Oh, he's got a character. And scar down just below his left eye. He's a thirsty boy. Oh, it's a perfect spot where he killed us. So from what it looked like is he actually caught the animal drinking and then dragged it away from the water's edge. And it being a big kudu, it was too big for him to hoist. And then the hyenas made off with some pieces of it. He made off with other pieces of it. So the little pieces he did make off with, he's managed to hoist into spots. Now, I'm sure the hyenas are still probably snoozing not too far away, hoping to try get whatever's left. The ultimate opportunists. Monique's wondering, why would the hyena leave when there's still food there? Well, Monique, what I'm saying is that they haven't left. They'll be, while it's hot, they'll be doing the exact same as him. And you'll probably find that the hyena is actually made off with a fair amount of the carcass from what we could see from the tracks. And there will be some hyenas still in the area, but they also struggle with heat, so they're probably just snoozing in the shade somewhere, and as it gets cooler, they'll probably come back for an inspection, see if he's dropped some meat or if he's abandoned some of the bones that are too big for him to crush. Dale's wondering, will Hukumuri's dewlap get larger as he gets older? For those of you who don't know what a dewlap is, it's that bit of thick, loose skin under his neck. Now, in leopards, it's there, and particularly in the males, it can be quite pronounced, and that thick, loose skin helps protect them when they're fighting with other leopards. Now, probably it will get larger. I'm not sure how old he is, and looking at him, I would say, and this is a complete guess, so you guys are welcome to correct me, and just generally looking at him, I'd say he's about 6 or 7 years old. Maybe even as old as 8. Maybe a bit younger, I'm not sure. I'd say 6, 7 years old. You can actually hear him lapping up the water. Sure, very tasty. And that's one of the reasons I came here at this time of the day. He's probably been snoozing for the majority of the day, and I thought there's a very good chance, especially as you get sort of the peak heat starts coming down just after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and he might be coming down for a drink. And he has not disappointed. He's heard something. Did a hyena? Oh, I think there's a hyena. I think there's a hyena that's gone back towards his food. That's what's got him up and on the move. Oh, there's a big hole. We don't want to fall into that. From the tracks we saw here, he absolutely gave those hyenas as good as he got. I'll try to show you. Let's just see. He's heading back towards that meat is. I say I don't want to spook him. He should be about to appear in front of us shortly. There he is. Okay. No, his body language changed a little bit. Maybe he just heard something, and he was just making sure that nothing was going to try steal the remnants of his carcass. But when he goes flat again, because oh no, these are running now. Oh, it's a batalier. A batalier was stealing his food. It wasn't a hyena, it was a bird. It just took off as he ran towards the tree. Okay, let's just have a quick look here, because he might even go up the tree, because the batalier was stealing that piece of meat from in the tree. And it looks like the batalier might have knocked it down. So let's see if he... Let's just wait here a little bit, see what he does. Hey, big boy. Oh, he's beautiful. So there was some pieces of meat in the tree, and there were some on the ground. But it's likely that batalier might have dropped one of the pieces onto the ground when it got disturbed by the leopard running there. And now Tristan told me to look at his tongue. Look at his tongue. It is so long. Silly looking cat. He might go back up the tree to check. Or he might just flop down in the shade there. Flop. Okay, well, while he flops down, we're just going to wait a little bit to see what happens next. While we do that, I know Madam McCurdy is searching for another leopard about 3 to 4 kilometers away from me.
We are. We're not having much luck though, but we are getting closer to solving the mystery. What we've been doing now is we've basically gone Buffelshoek boundary. We've gone then down northern part of Sandy Patch, Whitetail access, back up Aubrey's. We checked where she was. No sign of her. All the way around. Now we've done Gallagher and we've also done Gallagher shortcut, but we haven't had any luck, and I haven't seen any tracks. And where she was, up in that marula tree, it's almost impossible to have seen where she went. And I did ask on the radio who was the last person with her, and saw her come down the tree, and it was Jors van Buffelshoek. And he then responded and said as soon as she dropped to the floor, he couldn't see where she went. So we've been checking around and around and around to see if we can figure out where she's gone. I would assume she's going to go and get water somewhere. So it's just trying to find the pan that she's going to drink at. Maybe she's still in this block, just to the west of us and to the north of us. Pretty cool. Oh, right. Very quickly, we're going to go across to Steve.
Yeah, thanks very much, Taylor. We're sitting here with a group of little bee-eaters, and they keep moving off. So Seb's been trying very hard to keep catching up with them. And there is another bird on the left of the tree as well, called a ground scraper thrush. Probably one of the nicest birds out here, and we've seen them quite regularly lately. And very, very characteristic black stripe on the face, sort of through the eye, from the eyebrow, and that very streaky chest. Very easy to identify thrushes versus robin chats, which frequent very similar sort of habitats. Is if on the ground you see a bird of that sort of size, if it runs with its head down and then stands up tall, it's generally a thrush. If it hops around, the same sort of size, it's probably a robin chat. So that is something you can do to help you identify them in the undergrowth. If you don't get the colours very well, you'll know at least which family to go to, robin chat or thrush. And here is the ground scraper. Very pretty bird. Bee eaters are all over the place here in the open, feeding on at the back over there. They are just up and down, and Seb is finding it very difficult to find them. There goes another one. The bee eaters like to catch insects on the wing. And there we go, right to the screen, Seb. Oh, it's gone. Marvellous little, he's landed exactly back there again. They practice a behaviour known as hawking, where they fly from one perch and they grab an insect on the wing, and then they will land back on the same branch, and often use that branch itself to smash the insect on the branch. If it's a bee, help to remove the sting, or if it is some form of hard shelled insect, use the branch to sort of break the carapace open so that the juices can go inside and get eaten. Yes, Joy, bee eaters are so, so pretty. We're very blessed to have quite a few species down here. Always enjoy showing the bee eaters. Probably one of the prettiest families out there. And this is the littlest and the most sort of, I think, overlooked. We do see they don't normally accumulate in such large numbers. They are here all year round. So we notice when the Europeans arrive, sometimes when the Carmines arrive, they're very sort of noticeable. And the bee eaters, being quite small, seem to just slip the notice of most people. Heather, you want to know which park we're in? We're in Djuma Private Nature Reserve in the Sabi Sands, Greater Kruger National Park, on the sort of northeastern side of South Africa. I hope that helps. The Sabi Sands is world-renowned for game viewing and for leopards, as you've seen with the hukumuri. So we are now on our eastern boundary with Torchwood. We're going to drive up this road, keeping our eyes peeled for any tracks of Tundi, and also trying to see where these buffalo might have gotten to on our way up to Z-Route. Would like to know how far apart the guides are from each other. For that, I will show you on our fantastic map that Jerry provided. She works in production. Here, we are over here at the moment. We're about here on our eastern boundary. And where is Brent? Is over there. So how far is that? It's probably about 2.5 to 3 kilometers. And Taylor has been working up in this section over here. I'm not sure exactly where she is now, but this is where we had the Shadulu female this morning, and so she's checked this whole area now. Not sure where she's going to go to. So we're on the complete eastern boundary over here. We're going to go all the way up here, see if there's any activity of Tundi and that cub coming in. Why not? We're in the area, and also the buffalo are probably in this area, so we'll see if we can find them. They haven't come to Twin Dams or Treehouse. It's possible they might have gone up to Buffelshoek Dam, and what we do know about the buffalo is that the lion prides in the area, they like to follow the buffalo, and also that young man that little chief leopard, Hosanna, when he smells a buffalo, he likes to follow them. As Scott, and who was with Scott on a walk the other day? Was it you, Seb? I think it might have been Dave. It's always Dave. Whenever animals run and charge, it's always Dave. But Scott and Dave were on foot, and they heard the buffalo stampede, and they thought it was the lions chasing them, but it was the little prince, the little chief, Hosanna, a 2-year-old male leopard who's got the most character in the world. And he was also last seen in this sort of area, so who knows where and what we might find. And remember, folks, everything is absolutely live, coming to you in real time from Djuma. Okay, so we're going to go back over to Brent with the new and established reigner of Djuma. Let's go back to Brent with Hukumuri.
Well, he's looking quite comfortable in the grass over there. So I said I wanted to show you some tracks a little bit earlier. So I think that's what we're going to do while he's flat cat in the grass, making sure the battaliers don't come back to steal his meat. Let's go have a quick look at these incredible tracks. So that's how we knew something was up when we arrived, when we found his tracks walking in from the south, so from outside of Djuma. So he came in last night or early this morning, and we saw the tracks going down the road, and then we followed them towards the pan, and then suddenly we saw where he had been fighting with hyenas, and that's when we knew something was up. So there's an incredible spot where he's moved the mud that's been sprayed around by some elephants, and you can see that he's gripping in to leap to chase the hyenas. And it's just down here. Now this pan always brings back lots of memories for me. I had some incredible sightings with Hosanna and Shongile in the rain here, playing and jumping up and down all over the trees. We're probably about 70 or 80 meters away from him now, and I'm just trying to find this track again. It was so clear this morning, but now that it's dried out a bit, it's not quite as clear in the harsh afternoon lights. But so what looked like happened, actually let's just see, you can actually have a look here. What I think happened is he stopped here for a rest, and you can see where the grass is a little bit flattened right next to us here. So I think he was lying there, and while he was lying here, the poor unsuspecting kudu came down for a drink. Now just a little bit wider there, since to the left a tiny bit, to the other left. So he was there behind that log, and the kudu came down on the opposite side of that green grass to drink. And from what we could work out, he leapt across and grabbed it around where, just beyond where that elephant dung is there. There we go. And then from that little corner there of the water where the kudu was drinking, he dragged it off to the right, to that thicket. There we go. And he dragged it into that thicket there. So, and then that's where the hyenas found him. Yeah, unfortunately, the track is not as clear, and I can't really see where it is. It was so clear when we were on foot, but it's one of those things. Now, all the little pieces of liver, including the one I tried to feed Steve this morning, are all gone. I'm sure the battaliers and tawny eagles and other, well, predatory birds and scavenging birds came and cleaned up that crime scene. Now, of course, when we were there, it was still quite early, and a lot of those birds had not found it yet. So that's why we were able to see all the little bits of blood and all sorts that were around. Okay, let's go back to the leopard. So we found his tracks coming in from that side down this road. Well, hi, Walt. Walt would like to know what happens to a male leopard who loses his territory. Well, Walt, it becomes a very difficult time for that male leopard. So, male leopards, when they become independent from mom and get pushed out of the area by the dominant males in the area, become nomadic, and the same thing happens at the end of a male leopard's life when he is pushed out of his territory. Again, they will become nomadic, and they tend to sort of try slip between different other male leopards' territories. And unfortunately, there's a little bit of long grass there, but not too bad. So they'll slip between different male leopards' territories and try avoid conflict at all costs. They still will try and rob a lot of kills from females and other young males. So they do move around a lot more than when they're territorial males. And territorial males do move around a lot. But what they're doing is moving around and scent marking and patrolling to make sure there are no other threats coming into their territory. There we go. That's nice of him to lift his head. Belly full of kudu, now sloshing with water after that big drink. He's a very, very tired kitty at the moment. Very happy cat as well. Well, we're going to sit here a little bit longer. I might go to some of the waterholes to see if there's any elephants around, but in the meantime, let's go see how Steve's doing somewhere else out there in the African bush.
Thank you, Brent. We are doing fantastically well. It is a lovely afternoon to be on safari. After the cool conditions of this morning, it is a glorious afternoon. Hello, ladybird. You want to know if we get robins like the robin we get in Europe, the red-breasted robin, called the robin in Europe? Let me show you quickly in my very nice book over here how many robins we in fact have. We have got many robins. Just give me a moment. Robin. It's not my book. I'm navigating, so I apologize for the delay. No, that is the wrong page. Sorry, folks. See, that's why I like to use my phone. The phone is far easier to use. The phone app. Give me just a moment. So there are lots of robins and lots of robin chats as well. And if I just type in here, robin. Okay. Scrub robins, robin chats. Have a look at the bird family. See, here we've got lots of the scrub robins. I'm not sure if the color is very good on the screen there. There we get bearded robin, bearded scrub robin, brown scrub robin. So these are all kind of bushveld, open grassland, sort of savanna specialists, and they're all very, very camouflaged. And if I go to the next page, hang on, there we go. Here we get the more colorful, sort of more woodland, forest type birds, the white-browed robin chat, the white-throated robin chat, Cape robin chat, and then the red-capped robin chat over here, which is very, very pretty. And then over here, some very special ones, which you find mainly in forests and areas I haven't even seen yet. Up in the top, the white-starred robin, very, very forest specialist. I've never seen the Swinnerton robin. I think that's somewhere else in Africa. And then that is it for our robins. But I know in Europe, the Europeans have only got the one robin, and they're very, very territorial. And if you like to see them, and you are in Europe, they would respond very, very well to that behavior I was doing the other day. The shh, 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 shh. They come and they get quite sort of territorial. They're like, who's that? Who's in my spot? And it's awesome to see. I really enjoyed birding in the UK. The birds are very responsive to alarm calls, especially in the oak forests up there. Rob would like to look for some sunbirds. Rob, I'd love to show you a sunbird. I don't know why we don't see that many. I mean, for example, the the white-bellied sunbird is normally a very common bird in other places I've worked, as well as the Morocco sunbird. Around our camp, we get them. They are there. I don't know why on drives I haven't been seeing them, but I will look for a sunbird for you. The red-breasted or the scarlet-breasted sunbird is also very, very beautiful. I haven't seen one here. I will make a very good effort to find you some sunbirds. But on the topic of birds, look at the feather I found only moments before on the road. Look at that. This is the feather of a lilac-breasted roller, and you see the colors in there are made up of carotenoids and melanin, and the blues, the dark blues, is something they call Tyndall scattering. So essentially there's sort of air pockets within the feather cells, and they reflect the light in a certain way to give it that beautiful color. There's no actual pigment. It's just carotenoids and the melanin makes it nice and strong. The Afrikaans word for a roller is called a troupant, and for those of you who don't speak Afrikaans, trou means to marry and a pant is a band. So essentially by giving this to someone, you are committing yourself. You could essentially say, would you marry me with this feather? And it is very, very common in culture, African culture as well. And Chief Lobengula, who was the head of the Ndebele's, one of the tribes that you find in Zimbabwe, he banned any warrior to wear any feathers of the lilac-breasted roller. This was his bird, and if anybody was caught wearing feathers of the lilac-breasted roller, yep, he was quite an interesting fella. He was a very, very big man and very, very wealthy, because he had a lot of his sort of his guys in the mining sections of Africa at the time, the gold and the diamonds in Kimberley. And what he liked to do is a lot of his sort of his people who worked in the big pit, the Kimberley diamond mine, where the Cullinan diamond comes from, just by the way. It was given by Cecil John Rhodes to the Queen, and she still has that in the crown jewels. But he used to like to cover himself in honey and stick the diamonds to his body, because he had many, many diamonds brought back to him from the mines, from his people, and he liked to cover himself in honey and stick them on there, until one day Cecil John Rhodes did him a very bad deed, and ended up taking Zimbabwe from him by force. Back in the day, it's quite an interesting history. Rhodesia, it was called, eventually. Robin wants to know if guinea fowl are related to partridge. I'm not sure. I mean, what is the genus? Is a partridge a galliform? Because I think galliforms, all our franklins we get here, and I think the guinea fowl also falls into sort of the family or order of galliforms. So if a partridge does fall into that, then yes, they would be related. But I honestly don't know a lot about partridges, apart from the fact that they occur in a pear tree. Is that right? Am I getting my Christmas songs mixed up? Thanks, Bex. You said I am correct. Okay, so yesterday there was someone who was very interested in finding a mongoose track. And I don't know, Seb, if you can get it just over my shoulder there. Oh, there we go. That's not very clear. There's some bird tracks. Let me jump out and circle it. Someone yesterday wanted to see a mongoose track. Here we go. Actually, I'm mistaken now that I look at it. It is a squirrel. But here we have the squirrel, the little toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the pad. And here's the back foot. Toes, nails. Just going in that direction. So not a mongoose. My apologies. I did look at it very briefly. I wonder who it was. I'm forgetting yesterday. Someone wanted to see a mongoose track. We're always on the lookout for little tracks like that. Maybe it will be better on a bushwalk. Okay, so Taylor's out tracking as well. Let's go over to her and see what updates she has for you.
Well, we're checking one last pan of water, and then we're done trying to find a leopard for part of the afternoon. However, we've checked a variety of different places where I thought we'd find all sorts of creatures. And the only thing that we have seen this afternoon, we'll do, Johnny had a long list of animals we've seen and birds. In the beginning, we saw, what did we see? The warthog. Was that the first animal? Warthog? Warthog did not want to be on camera. Twice. We gave it 2 opportunities, kept running away. We moved on. We have seen 2 yellow-billed hornbills fly across the road and 1 impala ram. I lied. A herd of impala and then 1 impala ram. That is the extent of our animal sightings this afternoon. They're a little bit on the quiet side, but I do find that this sort of northwestern corner can be a little bit quiet. Other than the impala hanging around, you don't normally see much. So I think once we've checked this other pan just off Whitetail access, we're going to go and look for perhaps elephants. And I think we'll go up towards Buffelshoek Dam, maybe have a look around there. Maybe we'll even pop past Sydney's, things like that. Just see if we can see any elephants in the distance. But it's okay, we'll get there. We've also seen quite a few snake tracks. So I've been singing a snake song, and I can't remember the words to it because I made it up now. But hopefully we're going to see a puff adder. Here is the watering hole. We actually go in. Sorry, David, it's turned a bit sharp there. Felix, you're wondering if there's any honey badgers. Yes, there are honey badgers. They're just very shy. And the best time to see them is actually early morning, late-ish evening, just as the sun has gone down. Here's a watering hole. Ooh, a little terrapin. Gone in the murky waters. So they do occur. I haven't seen honey badger for ages, though. We often just see their footprints. Unfortunately, with the tall grass, it makes it difficult. What we've got in the water today? I can see little ripples here and there. I wonder if they're little boatmen or water striders skidding across the water. Definitely some little midges or flies of sort, little black specks that you can see on the top of the water. Where are the swimming ones? It's not really a smooth surface. It's kind of like when you go ice skating. I say this like I'm a professional. I've been ice skating on a whole of once. But you can see when the ice gets sort of quite cut up and it's not as smooth to skate around on. I wonder if the water striders and boatmen and things like that struggle to move around when all that algae forms, if it's not as easy for them to skid across. But a bit difficult to see. I noticed most of these little pans are also getting all this algae now. So we're not going to be able to see the water scorpions anymore. They'll like that, though. The water scorpions will enjoy that. Anything that ambushes as a hunting technique. The murky waters, of course, help them. Let's check this next little pan. Nice spot here. Nice marula trees, big boer beans for leopards to sit up in. Okay, let's have a quick look. Oh, I see bubbling. Who's making the bubbles? No, lots of bubbles. However, that could also just be methane gas pushing up. If there's any vegetation that is, well, I suppose, decomposing, it'll give off quite a bit of that. Maybe there's an African pygmy hippopotamus in this puddle. No, there is a little terrapin head, though. Oh, there we go. Who is that? You see that? Someone's skimming across the water? Amazing. Well, we'll also continue to keep checking these muddy wallows for animals. I think the elephants will be heading to them. Steve, however, is looking at some more tracks.
Yes, I am. Thank you. And I've found for you the track I was looking for. Not the exact track, but we have got a track of a rather large mongoose. And I'm going to point it out to you if you can't see it. Here are the toes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's the back pad. That is the one foot, and here's the other foot. I would assume this is the back, and that is the front. And it is not walking on what we call justify. So it's not standing on. Mongooses don't do that, not like cats. And where the toes have pushed forward because of the claws, you can see the scuff in the sand. And this is the track of a white-tailed mongoose, probably the largest mongoose we find in the area. And I heard someone talking there about honey badgers. We found tracks of honey badgers a few days ago. But what's very, very interesting about the white-tailed mongoose is if you have a look at the picture itself, you can see the white tail, and you can see the legs are black. The body is black underneath. Now, when the white-tailed mongoose is threatened by a predator, what it often will do is it will crouch down low, it will bend the tail over its back onto its neck, and actually mimic a honey badger. Because as we know out here, honey badgers are very, very scary and have lots and lots of sort of, they're full of beans, should I say. And so an animal will see the white-tailed mongoose pretending to be a honey badger and just go, oh, hang on, this is not exactly how I'd like to play out my evening, and then leave it alone. And the white-tailed mongoose gets away with it. So isn't that marvelous? So the track, we can measure it from there to there. It's about 5.5 centimeters long, and beautiful to be able to see these things. The marvelous thing about tracking is that you can see animals that are in the area that you don't actually see. So the honey badger, we got tracks. Aardvark, we got tracks. Whitetail mongoose, we've got tracks. We don't see them, but it's a passive way of knowing that animals are in the area. So a very nice way of understanding what we have, and a good way of identifying animals in areas to clear areas like this. Put some form of food down or bait station, and you can actually have animal tracks coming through, and you can develop an ID kit, not an ID kit, but a species count of animals that you might find in the area that are very, very seldom seen. For example, hiking in Table Mountain, I have found tracks of a leopard. Never seen a leopard there, but I've found tracks, which is really always very, very cool to know that you're walking in an area where you find dangerous cats, and the hikers in front of me didn't even see them. So that's what I love about tracking. You can always see what is around, even though you don't see it. Okay, so the art of tracking is a wonderful science. Let's go over to Brent Leo Smith and see what his views are on the matter.
Well, Hukamuri is very flat at the moment, and well, Steve's been chatting about tracking and the fact that he saw leopard tracks on Table Mountain. I've seen leopard tracks in the Kirstenbosch National Gardens on Table Mountain as well. So there are leopards around. Those Cape Mountain leopards, however, have incredibly massive home ranges in comparison to a leopard here. A male leopard in the Cederberg or in those Cape Mountains can have a territory of up to 200,000 hectares. So that is 4 Sabi sands. And that's due to lack of prey availability, and that also causes them to be a lot smaller. And much, much smaller. Hukamuri is probably 80 kilograms, and a male leopard in the Cederberg and all in the Cape Mountains is probably only 35 to 40 kilograms, so 50% in the weight. And that's all to do with food availability. Now, my favorite thing I think about tracking, I don't know, there's something, I mean, everything, to be honest. He spotted something. Is there a hyena coming in? No, and he's put his head back down again. He just popped his head up for a second there. But yeah, everything about tracking. I just love being out on foot. I love having close encounters with big cats, with elephants, with rhino, buffalo, and it is quite exhilarating. I just absolutely adore it. Now, one other thing, Steve was chatting about robins a bit earlier. Now, for those of you in the Europe and UK, the closest robin to what you call robin redbreast or whatnot, I had to bring out my big book because in terms of looks, of course, is a forest robin. Now, there's quite a few different colour variations of forest robins. I've been lucky enough to see quite a lot of them I've seen them in Gabon, I've seen them in Congo. So there we go, the forest robins is probably the closest in terms of looks to the UK robin, redbreast. Oh, he's down again. He's just getting hot and moving around. So they occur pretty much in the northern Congo Basin forests, if we have a look at their distribution map there. So very, very cool. Now, I'm trying to decide now whether to move along or sit with Hukamuri a bit longer. So why don't you guys just make it easy for me and decide for me. So hashtag Safari Live. Should we stay or should we go? Up to you. I don't think he's going to get up to too much, but it is just incredibly pleasant to sit next to a massive male leopard. It's always lovely to see them, especially through the grass. Sometimes some of my favorite views of leopards are not way out in the open. It's sort of views like that, where you've got the grass in front of him and it's sort of just a leopard in its habitat. Hey, big boy. Shashank is wondering, is there any difference between jaguars and leopards? Yes, quite a few. They are indeed a separate species, so that means they cannot mate and produce viable offspring. And, flop. A jaguar is physically much bigger than a leopard. And often going over 100 kilos, where a male leopard of 100 kilos is almost unheard of. They're also far more aquatic than leopards. Leopards will swim if they have to, but they don't really like getting their feet wet, whereas jaguars will hunt and swim and lie in water to cool off. So, of course, they've what you call sort of parallel evolution, because they've evolved on the other side of the world, literally, and the dappled markings and spots for camouflage is a parallel evolution. They are both part of the Panthera family, so the big cat family, so they're both able to roar. But yes, yeah, so there's quite a lot of big differences between them. It's tired kitty. Sorry, Bex, could you go again with that question? That Game Drive radio is quite loud. Hi, Tiva. Tiva is wondering, to what extent do other lodges share information on leopard sightings? Well, it all depends on your traverse. If the lodges traverse over the same area, there's extensive information shared. There's actually WhatsApp groups that all the guides in the Sabi Sands are part of. So if a leopard that no one knows arrives, you pop a picture on there and see if anyone else knows that leopard. So we do share information extensively with the other lodges. Of course, the lodges that you traverse in the same area, you share more information with, because you're out there in the same places every day. Now, for example, we share a lot of information with Chitwa and with Jumo, of course. Now, of course, it's for me, it's quite easy with Chitwa as well, because if we don't get any information, I'll give my brother a good clip around the ears, because my brother is a guide at Chitwa. Now, apart from sitting with leopards, one of my favorite things is to spend time with our feathered creatures, and it seems like Steve is on a birding mission this afternoon.
Thanks, Brent. Yes, we have found ourselves a little indigo bird, ladies and gentlemen, and it is with a laughing dove. Ooh, off he went. Now, when you want to identify these birds, indigo birds, you need to have a look at the beak as well as the feet, because there are 3 indigo bird species that you could find here. It could be the dusky, the purple, and the village. Now, that individual, being the male, he had what I thought was a white beak. Have you still got him? No, there's some starlings and buffalo weavers around. He had a white beak and orange feet. So that was the dusky indigo bird, which I don't actually see very often. And the dusky indigo bird, I can show you on the phone here if you didn't get a proper look. Let me just get you a nice photo of him. There he is. How's that look? Oh, sorry about the reflection, folks. Not working very well today. There's the red beak, the black beak, and the orange feet. So very important to identify that. And the indigo birds are also brood parasites. Let me just double check who his African firefinch. So they will lay their eggs in the nest of another bird. And these below the dash. Let me try that. Well done, Bex. Let me try put this in the shade there. There we go. That's better. Apart from my head. You see he's got the white beak and the orange feet. And so they will be brood parasites of the African firefinch. And I haven't seen many firefinches in this area. I haven't actually seen any. This is my first indigo bird this season. And so it's quite awesome. So the females are very, very sort of cryptically colored. The males stand out with that very, very bright sort of, it actually looks quite blue in the right light, but he looks quite black, all melanin, and he stands out. Seed eater, they're all here at this little pan here drinking, and because they are seed eaters, they need to, oh, sorry about my gear. Hello, Infernal. You'd like to know what go-away birds are? I've just found some leopard tracks underneath my vehicle, which is, this is the last area Seb says that we had to Tundi. So we'll have to make a little bit of a show, see which way she was going. You'd like to know what what a go-away bird is? A go-away bird is there used to be a turako or a luri. Let me show you. It seems to be a very nice birding afternoon. All got our binos on in our bird books. Go away. Okay, doesn't want to show me go away bird. Where is the go away bird in here? I'll find him. Grey go away bird. There it is. Now hopefully this is going to be a little bit better, a bit easier on the screen now. Come on screen. There we go. There he is. He is grey. And he says, "Quack, quack, quack." And they used to be part of the Luri family, but now all the Luris have changed to Turakos. And I'll show you why. If I go to the bird family, if you have a look at this page here, have a look at how all the birds on this page have got a red, a blue, and possibly even green in their pigment. Whereas the go-away bird there on the right is very bland with nothing to show for himself except for grey feathers. And now all of the other ones have got red, which is called tyrosine, which is a pigment they produce, and the green is called tyrocoverdin, which is also the only green pigment found in nature. And so all the luris have now been called turacos because of that double tyrosine tyrocoverdin sort of headline. And the grey go-away bird now matches his counterparts in northern Africa. So that is why it's called a go-away bird. I hope that answers your question. Very, very common in this area. But I'm going to pop off for a few moments and try and make head or tail of what's going on with these tracks. Bex, I'm not sure if you want to go to someone else while I do that. Okay. We will link to Brent because we have got tracks of the cub here as well. Okay, so we'll come back to you shortly. Let's go to Brent.
Hello, welcome back. Oh, it sounds like Steve's gone off the feathered mission and onto a kitty cat mission. I hope he has success there. I'm just sort of meandering down towards the tree house waterhole, hoping that there might be an elephant or three about. I didn't hear any while we're sitting with Hukumuri, but they might be moving into this area. Infernal is saying, if different species do not mate, how do you explain hybrids? Hybrids are very, very rare in the wild. So what happens with most hybrids, it's people that cause them. So a very, very cruel practice that has happened a lot, not so much in Africa, but particularly in North America, is the hybridization of big cats. So forcing a lion and a tiger to mate. What that is they keep those animals in close contact for extended periods. I mean, those animals fight, beat each other, often die in the quest for a liger or I've forgotten what the other one is, but it's very cruel and barbaric practice. So there are very, very few hybrids in the mammals in the wild, and they tend to keep to themselves. Although a couple of years ago there's a very, very interesting hybrid that happened in the Linyanti area of Botswana, which was a hybrid between a lechwe and a waterbuck. So it does happen, but it is incredibly rare. And a lot of hybrids are, as I said, are generally done by people. I'm trying to think of some other obvious hybrids. A zonky, a zebra and a donkey. Again, humans putting them in close proximity. So it's generally human beings that cause hybrids. Now, in nature, hybrids can happen, and actually quite common in birds of more. Sorry, this Game Drive radio is going mad at the moment. So it happens quite often in birds, and then the hybrids they're from a very, very close family, very, very close closely related family. Actually, let me show you a hybrid quickly. Let me just get onto some flat ground so I don't torture Senzo while he's trying to level the camera. Okay, there we go. Some flat ground here. So I'm just going to turn this off quickly. They're making an incredible amount of noise, talking about very little. Everyone's saying hello. So certain species of hybridize quite frequently. One of them is the little seed eaters. So often they start. I'm just trying to. There we go. So waxbills are known to firefinches, sorry, are known to hybridize, which means that a lot of them are probably very, very closely related, and it's happened in the very sort of recent times that they've split. There's still a lot of research being done into hybrids in birds, but as I said, in mammals. What are you complaining about? Bird. Have a look quickly. There could be a snake there. So it's very rare. So most hybrids in the modern era are forced by human beings. It's an absolutely barbaric practice. What were you squawking about, lilac-breasted roller? There you go. Lovely late afternoon light on the roller. So the rollers was squawking. There's also a Franklin squawking in the little river system just beyond the roller. So I'm going to go see if there is a snake or some other form of predator, maybe even a predatory bird around. While we do that, let's go see Taylor, who's with some animals that are enjoying an afternoon swim.
They are. They look so relaxed, these hippos, almost too relaxed, in fact. They barely got their heads above the water this afternoon. But we have arrived at Buffelshoek Dam just to have a quick squiz and to see if there's anything around. And we haven't got too much out here, but we do have 2 hippos, which is quite nice. And like I said, just relaxing, going about their day. No thrashing in the water just yet. I was hoping that we were going to see them open up their mouths and show their big teeth. It's always very impressive when a hippo does that, because most of the time we're just seeing, well, little bits of a hippo. And this is the typical sighting that you have. I can tell you, most of my guests have in fact only seen this part of a hippopotamus: the head, the ears, the eyes, and of course the nostrils. And that's about it. But we're lucky, we're spoiled at Chitwa Dam. Almost every morning, every afternoon, we see them playing around. And those little ones are so playful. Now, there's lots of different things that live in these dams, not just big hippos, but from lots of different species of birds and terrapins. And, well, child of the universe, you were asking if there are any frogs. Yes, of course there'll be some frogs. We probably have a better chance of finding them a little bit later tonight, so that's something that I'm always up for finding. Is the amphibian species. They're one of my favorite, in fact. So maybe we'll head on towards Twin Dams, or not Twin Dams, actually. You know what's a good one? Is Treehouse Dam. Is a particularly good one. Oh, and apparently World Frog Day is in 2 days' time. Now, some of you may remember last year's hilarious amphibian antics we all put on. Do you remember, David? I was sleeping and snoring. I was pretending, obviously. I wasn't really sleeping. I don't actually sleep like that. Steph did some great frog noises. They're really terrible. Who else was making frog noises? Someone went ribbit, ribbit. Can you believe it? I feel like it may have been Rebecca that actually did that. Was it Eggsy that did it? Oh, yeah, we all made noises. Eggsy, a.k.a. Zander. All making strange noises. I wonder what we're going to do this year. Who knows? And then there are some little birdies. David, can I point you in the direction or something? You see where in the middle of the dam, at the other side where the grass is quite close? Just to the left of it, there's like a little V that goes in. There's some, looks like 2 little 3-banded plovers. Just 2 3-banded plovers, though, not 3 3-banded plovers. Very busy this afternoon, as they always are. Working very, very hard. Moving those legs pretty quickly. Looking for insects on the surface. And on a hot day like today, I think that they would have filled their crops up quite easily with all sorts of little insects. Oh no, there may have been. Actually, I lie. I think there may have been three-banded plovers, in fact. Now, Rwindo, you're wondering if there are any shrimp or prawns in the water. Well, I remember last year, after bouts of rain, the mud wallows had filled up. We did, in fact, find some freshwater shrimp. I think they were called fairy shrimp. They're bright red in color. I don't have a picture of one, but I'm pretty sure someone can pull up a screenshot for you because we were also fascinated about it. So yes, they could possibly be in here too and would be a very important food source to a lot of critters that live in the water. So I'm on bushwalk in the morning. I think we'll be checking and sort of having a closer inspection of the mud wallows. I like to do that on my bushwalks and see if we can find some water scorpions, because we were finding some exoskeletons of water scorpions, and we'll look for frogs, or even just some frog tracks might be quite nice to look at, and anything else that really wants to show itself. Maybe we'll try find those fairy shrimp again. The only problem is, and we'll chat more about the algal bloom that we sort of see in the water tomorrow when we can get close to it. And it's like I said earlier, it's great if you're an ambush predator and you're hunting in murky waters, nothing will see you coming. But it makes it hard for us to spot things in there too. So not great for us. So now that we've checked Bivelshoek Dam, I think we're going to take a drive along Guarri Pan Road and perhaps check Guarri Pan. Or we might do Hippo Pools Road. I think we're going to do that. Now, some frogs may be under threat, seen as ones that live in the water. And Child of the Universe, you were wondering if there are some that are perhaps becoming endangered. Well, there's quite a few frogs that live in specific areas, so very small areas. The western leopard toad is one of them that unfortunately is under threat at the moment, and that's because of habitat loss. A lot of them cross the road, so they're being killed. Pollution into freshwater systems. Again, frogs are super sensitive and really good indicators to the environment about sort of how clean water is. And so that's one of them. Then there's, I'm just trying to remember all the frogs. I think it's is it the Amatola toad? Is it? It's in Hogsback. I'm just let me remember. I'll bring my frog book and drive. That's another one. It only occurs in a small section of the Eastern Cape. Again, habitat loss is a huge factor when sorry, Rebecca's saying all sorts of things. She's making me laugh. Stop distracting me. I'm trying to be professional and educate people here, Rebecca. Rebecca's directing today. So we'll have a look at a couple. But like I said, the main factor to a lot of the reason why species are going extinct is due to habitat loss, unfortunately, because of us as humans, wrecking the environment. What's making that noise? Can you hear that? I don't know what it is. Must be, oh, you know what it is. You won't be able to see it. It's doves fluttering in the leaves behind us. So that's what was making that noise. I can just hear a really strange sound. Anyways, we're going to head towards Guarri Pan. It's a little productive pan. Maybe we find something there. Steve, however, has got some elephants, and I'm sure you want to find out more about those leopard cub tracks.
Yes, thanks, Taylor. We've managed to find this big elephant bull. I apologize. He's decided to go behind us instead of in front of us, which was the plan all along. We did have a long chat before you came on air about him going in front, but he has decided to defy me. But this is the African bush, and the elephant will do what he likes. So the tracks of that female and cub, Thandi and cub, came from Guarri Pan directly into the block towards us here. So we're just checking cheetah cut line to see if there's anything crossing, but this is a very, very large block. And if Seb just pans across, even if we found tracks, what a difficult area it is to look for leopard in this block. Even yesterday, Brent was driving around aimlessly trying to just hopefully bump something. So, we're going to move on a little bit further from here, see if anything cuts across here into the east. So far there's nothing, but we will keep you updated if we manage to find anything very fresh. It did seem to be like Thandi and her cub had drunk there by Guarri Pan and have come directly into the block. Maybe she's got a kill. If she does, could be anywhere in this section. So maybe I'll chat with Herbie. Maybe he's keen to bring Taylor into this area tomorrow on their bushwalk to put some effort into the tracking of her, because now with Scotty D gone, he seems to be the master behind finding Thandi. But then again, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tristan Dix is back on drive tomorrow afternoon. So if anyone can find Tundi, it is him. So I'm excited to have him back. I saw his car is already in camp, so looking forward to a little catch-up with him this afternoon and see how his leave has been, and fill him in on the gossip and the scoop of the leopards in Djuma of late. So while we're up here, if we don't get any tracks, we're going to still have a little look at Buffelshoek Dam and see what's going on. Okay, well, we're going to go over to Brent, who looks like he's cooked his goose.
Well, here we go. Well, we've got a goose and something else. Is that a gosling? Or is it something else entirely? Let's go across to the ones to the left. Oh, there we go. Those three there. And zoom in on the one in the middle. Hello, you. Oh, stretchy, stretchy. Now, I wonder if you can tell me what those are. Hashtag Safari Live if you know what that is. That is not the Egyptian goose. It is a very, very pretty duck. The males are far more striking than the females, and those are all females. There are no males presently at Twin Dams. Doing a bit of prepping and preening and feather cleaning. Now, these particular ducks can actually travel incredible distances, and at this time of the year they move around. Oh, you've got some Cape turtle doves in the background as well. There they are. So they'll move incredible distances between different water holes, and they really like seasonal pans, the ducks. And that's all the clues I'm giving you. Puma says they're doing duck yoga. Yes. Indeed. Actually, what they're doing is they're cleaning a lot of their feathers, and sort of when they preen like that, they want them to be in the perfect spot. Some of the feathers for flying, but often when they're doing their chest and stuff like that, it's their swimming feathers to make sure they've got that lovely little sort of waterproof, waxy layering in the correct, correct spots, so they don't take on too much water and go down. Isn't that wonderful? Now we've got a few more birds up on the other side here. I'm just going to move forward a little bit. See if I can get a view of them again. It's disappeared. Now, as lovely as the dam is for bird watching, one of my favorite spots to bird watch is around a seasonal pan like this. So you can see there lots of nice grass, so there's places for the crakes to hide. Oh, there's a Woodland Kingfisher. You see him, Sens? There we go, and there's a safari vehicle in the background. There's also some elephants that seem to be heading in our direction, and I'm hoping they head towards the water here. So I'll move when they get a bit closer. But I was hoping to see some crakes. And look at that kingfisher looking for a frog or something in the little pan below him, or could just be ready to dive down there for a drink. Okay, let's get into a position in case those elephants decide to go mud bathing and wallowing. There's a whole host of little pans in this area down here. Hold on, you! No, it's only joking. There's a big bump there, though. Oopa! No little craigs. No. Oh, quickly across to Steve.
Yes, with a very pretty little steenbok. And this one is being very obliging and standing very still. Normally, once they've been detected, they disappear very quickly into the undergrowth. And be very alert for Tundi and her cub in this area. You see her nostrils are flaring. Oopsie, what is that? The bird gave her a bit of a fright, says Seb. Look at those ears, folks. Isn't she just so pretty? Got flies all over her face. Come on, my dear, blink. Get rid of the flies. She doesn't want to move, folks. She doesn't want to feel as if she's been seen by us. Now she's moved. Very delicate, aren't they? This is a fully grown animal. I've only ever seen one baby steenbok who was busy suckling. It was so cute and so small. I've never seen another one, though. Look at that face. Absolutely gorgeous. That very small mouth, which allows for very selective feeding. And you hear the Swanson's spur fowl making all sorts of noises in the background. Can you see him, Seb? There we go. There's a Swanson's spur fowl male. You can tell it's a male by the spurs on the back of the feet, on the back of the leg, which they use for fighting. And it's typical of the male to perch on a little bit of a ledge and do that very sort of smoker's cough sort of sound that you heard. Isn't he pretty? Very pretty bird. He knows it. I wonder if the ladies think the same. Give us another call, my friend. I might try and play it for you so you can hear it again. I don't know if you all heard it back home. It's turning out to be an absolutely marvelous day for birds. You didn't hear it?
Of course.
As soon as Seb moved off of him, he, now you heard it. Okay, so there's no need for me to play it now. How marvelous was that? Hey? As we moved off, I get a little bit camera shy before, and as we moved off, he played the call. Thank you, my friend. Do you enjoy your perch? Okay, well, let's go over to Brent, who has got a crossing.
Well, yes, it is a crossing of elephants. A nice big herd. Now, they've crossed into Juma, and I thought they might stop at Baboon Pan, but it looks like they might go all the way to Twin Dams. So we're just sticking with them now. It doesn't look like they've been having or splashing and playing in the mud yet today, but they might definitely do it in Twin Dams. Okay, let's move quickly. Minjan. Hi everyone. Good, thanks. Okay guys, let's keep up with these elephants now. They might go straight into Twin Dams by the looks of things. So I'm going to zoot around this way. So we are not going to affect them or impede them, and can possibly, but quickly. For the birders, keep everyone happy. Look at that beautiful hoopoe sitting in the gorgeous golden light. And elephants behind. The big and the small. Okay, hold on. You holding on, Sense? Okay, let's do this. Whee! So coming up onto the Twin Dams wall now. Oh, bouncy bounce. I hope they get their water walk on. It's one of my favorite things when elephants get the water walk. They get excited when they get close to the water and they know they're going to go for a swim or a drink. And we're now in the perfect spot directly opposite them. You happy here? Oh, magic. I was really hoping for some lovely ellie action around the waterholes today. And I'm being spoiled today. Hukumuri, elephants, elephants, elephants. Look at that little one. It doesn't want to get too close to the water. It's quite steep, the bank. Don't fall in. He's decided that place is too steep. That's too steep for me there. I'm not going down there. It's scary. Now, what I think will happen is the eddies will, some of them will drink there where it's steeper, but the majority, oh, I've seen this female. See that one there, the big female on the left? Look at her. I've seen her before, but a long time ago, and I haven't seen her often. She's got a missing half of her left ear. And she looks a bit strange. You see that? She's got almost no left ear. And it doesn't look like it was cut or anything like that. It looks like it's a natural birth deformity. Amazing, isn't it? Hello, Dawn. Dawn is wondering, at what age do elephants start to grow tusks? Well, they have baby tusks for the first year of their life, and then at a year old they start growing their big tusks. Oh, there's an even smaller baby. An even younger baby than the one we were looking at earlier. Hello, little one. Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Tiny, tiny. So it hasn't been too hot today. So the ellies might not sort of dive in, so to speak, and go swimming. They might have a drink. I was hoping they might do a bit of mud bathing. As I said, oh, here he comes. Oh, don't bully now, you. Oh, shame. He doesn't like the slippery sand. Oh, shame. Look at his tail. He really isn't happy about this slippery, slidey, steep slope. What is going on here? Oh, look at that. All the adults came around to comfort. Oh, shame piece. Oh, you can try again. There we go. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Now, a couple of weeks old, that little one. Really doesn't like that. Oh, no, foot in the hole. Oh, no, foot in the hole. Get out. So I think what will happen is the little one's not so happy. The herd might move around towards the head of the dam, where there's it's not as steep. As I said, it's been quite cold today, so they might actually just move off and continue feeding. We'll see now. That was a very cute little elephant. He did not look happy with that steep, slippery slope at all. Almost like I've fallen down something like this before. I don't want to do it again. Okay, I'm just going to have to move the car a little bit because they're going to disappear behind us. So it looks like they're going to continue on towards the Mawati riverbed to feed. And I think I'm going to keep up with them for a little bit longer. Trim Bod says, do I think animals notice deformities in others? Trim Bod, I think it really depends on the deformity. And if it is a deformity that weakens in animals, particularly if it's a male, who's going to be fighting for mating rights, I think then yes, other animals might take advantage of that. But with elephants, you see quite a lot of different deformities with ellies, lack of tails, ears, all sorts of things, and the elephants seem to not take too much notice of deformities in others. Now, if we're lucky, they might go have some fun in the sand in the Moati riverbed, dust it all around, and I'm hoping they do that, because there's some really nice ellies in this herd. There's some youngsters that are very playful at the moment. There's that tiny little gorgeous creature. Now, they split. The other little one went off. Oh dear. No, it doesn't look like they're going to do that. Hello, big girl. Yes, I see you. It's okay. It looks like they're going to cross straight through the Moati and up and start feeding on the bank on the other side. Oh, there we go, down the steep hill. Whoop, 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 whoop. I always love it when that happens. It's sort of, the sheer weight causes them to speed up as they go down. Well, it doesn't look like they're going to hang around for too long, so I'm going to send you across to Taylor, who's got a lonely elephant.
We look like, no, that's not English. It looks like a young bull. And he's actually been very accommodating this afternoon. He has moved a haul of about 1 meter in 10 minutes, I would say. Maybe not quite 10 minutes, maybe about between 6 and 8 minutes. But time does fly when you're out in the bush. And I don't know if there's any little marulas that he's perhaps picking up, because I can't see him pulling any leaves and things out, and there is a small marula tree above him. So perhaps he's lucky and he's managed to find the last of the fruits underneath, all those round-leaf teak and large-fruited bush willows. Looks like he's being quite picky about what he goes for. There you go, dropping some of the vegetation out of his mouth. Can't really see what he is getting, in fact. Oh, there we go. That's obviously leaves that he was eating. Yep, stripping them away. And he's just taking it easy. It doesn't look like he's been for a swim recently. I think he must have gone for one midday swim during the heat, because he is a lot darker than the colour that an elephant normally is. Although, I suppose it depends on what soil they cover themselves with, and that will determine the colour of the elephant. But he looks a little bit on the damp side, but all on his own, unlike that herd of elephants that Brent had. So he's been kicked out, now living a life of solitary, swatting that tail, keeping away all the biting flies. I even have a guarri branch in the car today. The insects have been particularly bad. It'd be nice if he gave that marula a shake, just to see if there aren't one or two more fruit still dangling on, holding on. Maybe they don't want to leave either. Now, child of the universe, you said, why are young elephant bulls not lonely when they go off on their own? Because they essentially spend, the beginning of their life in a herd. I think they just get used to it. It's a very, very traumatic experience for these elephants to get pushed out of the herd. I've seen it a couple of times, and it's never quite nice, because essentially what happens is that the entire herd, mainly the older cows, sort of stand their ground, and what they did once in the Eastern Cape, they formed a wall. And every time this young bull would try and come back into the herd, the girls would basically just chase him away, and chase and chase and chase. And then they would go back, and he would still follow the herd around, but that gap would get bigger and bigger and bigger, and the cows would be less and less tolerant of him. So I think it's a very traumatic experience for them, but it's just one of the things that happen. So I'm sure it takes a bit of time to get used to, and they do meet up with other young bulls along the way, though, if they find them and they can tolerate one another. These bulls also form bachelor herds, and it's typically when they get into the prime of their life, so anywhere between about 30 and 40 years old. And, that's when you really start to see the true size of an elephant. They then become lone wanderers and go off and start searching for breeding herds, looking for cows that are coming into estrus. They get on the go. But it is quite nice. In the southern Kruger, you see spectacular bachelor herds of elephants. I saw lots of them in Zambia too, big 50, 60, 70 of them. all just marching across the plains. Big ones, small ones, medium-sized ones. It's quite cool. And a young bull like this would probably benefit from moving around with a couple of other older elephant bulls, sort of learning the way of life, also being put into their place. And they're probably the most cheeky at this stage. Otherwise, when they're in muss, they're also pretty cheeky too. They're very calm. It's quite nice. It's very peaceful, this sighting. He's not in a rush. He's not perturbed by us at all. He hasn't even acknowledged that we're here. I know he can hear us, he can smell us, he can see us. But he hasn't showed any interest whatsoever. Which is quite nice. It's always nice when you can just sit from a distance and watch the animals as they go along. Now, I did go past Quarry Pan and I saw the tracks that Steve had, so we're going to also have a little look around here, because I know Steve said he was heading to Chitwa, so we'll carry on exploring around this area and see if we can't pick up on anything. Now, he hasn't stopped feeding since we've been sitting here. Combination of swatting the tail around and flapping the ears and eating. Pretty good at multitasking. And Corley, you're wondering, how much does an elephant need to eat in a day? Well, I suppose it depends on how big they are. So essentially, an elephant needs to eat about 5% of their body weight. That's just roughly the amount. So depending on the size of the elephant would determine. But I mean, a fully grown elephant bull can eat anywhere between 150 and 200 kilograms of vegetation a day. So they're very busy, and they will feed for about 19 hours of that day. So very, very small amount of time is actually saved for rest. Sometimes elephants can go 24 hours, 48 hours without even having a siesta. They'll just go, go, go. And the reason why they have to eat so much is firstly because they're enormous. They're the largest land mammal, and they have a really poor digestive system. So it's... they're only digesting, about 44% of their food every day. So this is why when you find elephant dung, you can almost tell immediately what that elephant had been eating 24 hours ago or so. You can find undigested fruit. We find a lot of undigested marulas, although they can't peel back the skin and pull the flesh off of the seed. So they sort of just crunch it and get all the juice from the fruit. You see twigs, you see whole leaves sometimes, bits of bark. It's quite cool, in fact, when you find elephant dung, to do a bit of digging to see what they were craving that day. Now, Dake, you've asked, why do elephants sometimes rock one leg back and forth when standing? Well, you often see elephants doing that and also crossing their legs. I suppose they're just maybe resting them. They normally do that rocking motion with their leg. They don't do it for too long, but you do see them sort of standing cross-legged, just getting the weight off of, I suppose, and maybe you get a bit tired too, so they can do that. Remember, elephants don't sit down very often, or lay down, should I say. It'd be quite funny to see an elephant sitting on its bottom. Normally you see that when they go down to the water, and like you saw with Brent, sometimes slide down the bank, then you have to sit back and, enjoy the ride. But all the elephants, of course, they don't do that as often. But in the Mara, I actually saw quite a few elephants fast asleep, big ones too, snoring away, which was quite nice to see, with the little ones just standing by going, I'm not ready to sleep yet. Off he goes now. Richard, you've asked, because, I use the weirdest words, thanks to my Australian parents, and we're wondering, what is a squiz? Because I used it earlier. A squiz, I don't know where it comes from. I don't even know if it's a word, but it's a word that my parents use all the time. Like a quick look. We're going to have a squiz at the spider building its web. We're going to have I don't know. David, do you know what I'm talking about? A quick look. A quick look. That's what a squiz is. A quick look. So, yes, Rebecca says like a peek, having a peek at something. It's exactly right. Now, I'm not going to link. Rebecca said I should send you across to Steve because it sounded weird. We're going to go down this fire break, however, and see if we can find Tundi. Maybe she's on the move now that it's cooled down a little bit. Let's go see if Steve is on his way to Chitwa.
Yes, thanks very much, Taylor. We've also been having a bit of a squiz around to see if maybe Tundi and her cub will just pop out of this big block. Very hard to see anything inside, so it seems like Taylor and I are in a very similar area, but we're going to be moving out of the area soon. One final squiz, as you'd say, to see if we can see her. What's that, Seb? Seb has spotted another cool bird. We're having a wonderful Sunday afternoon of birding. And let me just try and find what it is, Seb. Oh, it was a cuckoo. It looked like either a Jacobin or Llewellyn's cuckoo. I didn't see the colors very well. The Llewellyn's got black lines on the white chest, and the Jacobin just has the white chest. Easy to remember because Llewellyn's has a W for lines, whereas Jacobin doesn't have any lines in it. Easy enough. They're a black bird. The white chest, the nice crest on the top, quite a long tail, and they will probably be departing soon as the breeding starts to slow down. So not sure Jacobin, but I haven't heard them calling in the last little while, which means that they're probably not laying their eggs in the nests of other birds at the moment anymore. They're just feeding, and their primary source of food, most of the cuckoos that come down here, are caterpillars. I apologize for any of the breakup. We are just going through a little rough patch. I'll just drive a little bit slowly. We're going to be coming out of this area soon, and if there's no sign or further sign of Tundi and Cub, then we're going to go and try our hand at Chitwa. And who knows if we will be lucky, maybe with Tingana. I believe he was seen this morning. I haven't seen that old devil in some time. See him. It has been, when last did I see him? It's been ages, actually. Last time I saw him was on foot, actually, at Whitetail Dam. Okay, sorry about the signal, folks. We're going to quickly go over to Brent, who I'm sure has got far better signal than we do, and we catch up with you soon.
Welcome back. Well, unfortunately, Steve's heading into a gremlin zone. I'm back on the new road, Mandoza Road, that I drove for the first time yesterday. I think it's possible that that Shadulu female might have come this way, you never know. But my plan is to just check through here. It's quite nice driving a new road, and then as it gets a bit cooler, I might head back to see Hokamori. He almost sounds like some Japanese samurai. Hokamori. Senzo's nodding. He's a samurai. There we go. Senzo says he's definitely a samurai. The Hokamori. And it's such a beautiful... Oh, hello, Gnu. It's so beautiful at this time of the day. Here you go, lone wildebeest bull. Looking for girlfriends. Of course, the wildebeest rut in the Sabi Sands is about to start quite soon. So that's always fascinating to watch the different males and their different strategies to keeping females within their territory. So what I think he's doing, he's moving from that open area around the big brown ivory tree, and he's going to head to go park off at Impala Plains, see if there are any girls there. Oh, it's just such lovely light at this time of the day. Oh, you might go to Knobthorne Open on Arethusa as well. That's not too far away. Oh. What gave you a fright? Something gave him a fright. I don't think it was a leopard. I was always hoping it was a leopard, but he didn't start snorting. It was probably a francolin in the grass. That often happens with quite a few different animals. Yeah, he's carried on in the straight the same direction. Okay. No, I can't see anything. Let's just keep moving and have a quick look. You never know. Any tracks here? No, no tracks. This is a really lovely area, and this road is a very well placed road Well, Shadow used to spend a lot of time in this block, and there were no roads here, and it often took us quite a lot of walking in here to find her. And now we've got a nice road where we can see tracks. Now, for an update on Shadow, I chatted to some of the Arethusa guys. They think she's actually down in Hofmans near the Mala Mala boundary. And especially with Hukamuri being in this area, she's going to try avoid this area if not Barbara's still alive. I think that is what she'll be doing, keeping a very low profile. It's going to be interesting to see what the Shadulu female gets up to, whether she's going to try take a chunk of Tundi's territory in the sort of northwestern sections of Djuma. Now, of course, that could change very quickly. So if Tundi loses the cub, she'll move straight back into these areas that Hukamuri's in at the moment. But while Hukamuri's around, she's going to spend a lot more time that way, and that's given the Shadulu female a sort of chance to come scope out this area. So it's actually next to the Cam Ops logging station in the final control. There's a list of names of the leopards, so the cameramen don't spell it wrong. And I was having a quick look at it last night after drive while I was chatting to Nicola, and it was amazing that how many leopards have actually moved on to greener pastures in the last couple of years. So Senzo's just you're gonna see his hand come through in a little bit. He's gonna come wipe his lens. So, well, Mvula we're not 100% sure on, but I mean he's an old man. He's on his way. But out of that list of leopards, there were quite a few on there that have died. It was Salahesh, Karula, and I mean two really long-standing, prominent female leopards in the area. Kwatile. I'm trying to think who else on there. Just looking at that list, Vutomi. Shongile, we can't be 100% sure on, but I would say it's probably highly likely that she got killed, just because of the density of other territorial female leopards in the area. And it really breaks my heart to say that, because she was definitely one of my favorites. So I mean, she would normally have popped up somewhere by now. Someone would have seen her, because in the Kruger Park, to the east of us, is a concession where there are safari lodges as well, and I think by now we would have seen a picture of her somewhere. And the same goes for the Manuleti. Now, there's dominant female leopards in the Manuleti, very close to the Sabi Sands border, so it's not a good place for her to go there. And it's very good leopard country, that southern Manuleti. So there's plenty of females up that side. So it's a bit sad, but it is what it is. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, I can't remember now. But it was quite a shock to me when I realized how many of those leopards were passed on to happy hunting grounds. I'm going to skedaddle past the Gari repeater shortly. Now, this is one of our repeaters that brings you the picture to wherever you might be sitting in the world. And it's a very prominent one. Here we go, and just pop round the corner here and you'll get a nice view of the Gari repeater. There it is. Here we go. So our signal from the vehicle goes to Gari repeater, then it goes down from that. There we go, there's the antenna. Ooh, White Browed Scrub Robin, such a lovely call. And then it goes down to Vuyatela, or to Final Control, and then from Final Control out to the top of Maripskop Mountain, I think. I might be wrong. Tech team is welcome to tell me if I'm wrong. And then I don't know where it goes, but it gets to you, and that's what's important. Ah, there we go. Thank you, Conrad. I'm correct. So I actually think, if I remember correctly, I have heard this before, it goes to Dubai next, or London. It's London, it goes to London next. Kai Lana, who's 10 years old, hello Kai, would like to know, do wildebeest travel in family groups like elephants do? Now, not really. They have a slightly different sort of setup. So male wildebeest in this area, so in different parts of Africa, they have different strategies. In this area, the male wildebeest will defend a territory, and the females will move with their babies between different males' territories. So the females will travel with their youngsters, and the males will stay in one sort of spot. So we're going to head towards Impala Plains shortly, and we'll see. It could be another lone male wildebeest looking for girlfriends over there. Now, in the Mara, the wildebeest migrate, and the males migrate with the herds. So a different system. So you could say that the Kenyan and Tanzanian wildebeest, they travel in family groups, and the males will travel with the herd at all times, and they don't defend a set territory. Now, that's of course because it's a different ecosystem, but here in the low veld of South Africa, the males do not travel with the family groups. Now, Steve is on a proper birding mission today, so let's see how his search is going.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Brent. Sorry, folks, we've been having some signal issues, so you haven't been able to come to us, and so now we are stationary. Hopefully things will work out, but we have managed to find the bird that we spoke about earlier. Someone asked, what does a go-away bird look like? And here we have two beautiful, beautiful birds. Look at the crest on the head, and notice how they are completely grey, hence the name grey go-away bird. And they are a woodland specialist. We find them all over the lowveld, all over the savannah, and they absolutely love seeds and fruit and small leaves, the new shoots of leaves and buds and even flowers. And they will be here all year round, nesting in quite communal sort of nests on top of trees. Marvellous. I'm so glad we were able to find one. And indeed, Brent, we're having a fantastic afternoon with birds, and I'm not sure if I can start moving, because if I do, we might lose our signal. Bex, what do you think? Can I start moving, or should I stay stationary? We're going to attempt it. We're going to go very slowly, and hopefully our signal issues are not going to continue. We are now slowly making our way towards Chitwa. We have not managed to find any more signs of that beautiful leopardess Thandi and her cub. So I think me being able to see that cub again, I'm going to have to really earn it. Really, really earn it. But I'm up for the challenge. Everything seems to be okay in my ear. We're on the eastern side. Fantastic. We're on the eastern side on a road called Drakensberg. Okay, well, as we think things are working, things don't. So let's go over to Taylor and see what updates she has for you.
Sorry, everybody. The gremlins are attacking Steve. Oh, Rebecca is using the wrong radio today. Oh, punishment later in camp. Right, so we're just bumbling along at the moment. And we're looking for more tracks of that leopard because they kind of just vanish. So we're having a little look around, and birds, sort of francolins and things, are giving off alarm calls, but not anything that didn't sound terrified. A little bit scared. So maybe it was a raptor of sorts. So I'm just checking very carefully. We're on Gwari Road now. Oh no. It seems as though Steve and I are just going to be bouncing back and forth today. The gremlins are both trying to get us, so off you go. Back to Steve.
The gremlins, leprechauns, whatever it might be, I am not sure what is happening this afternoon. We are now stationary. Seb has just been in the boot trying to fiddle with any wires and see if maybe something's been dislodged. Nothing, sir?
No, it's
no?
good. The only thing I can do later is a reboot.
Okay, so when we probably cut away, we might do a reboot and see if we can, by powering down and powering up again, the system will kick back in. We don't know. But seeing as we are stationary and we're not moving anywhere for the moment, just to show you where we are down here on the road called Drakensberg, because on a beautiful day, if we go to the right-hand side, you can often see the Drakensberg in the distance. But on a day like this, we cannot see it, but it is a beautiful vista nonetheless. Just a bit of cloud and moisture in the atmosphere is making it very hard to see. You can actually see a little bit of it just over there, Seb. It's starting to come through now the longer we look at it. There is the mast, there is the Drakensberg in the background, and that is one of the masts that provides us with signal. So very strange that we're not able to get any. The Drakensberg mountain, and on top of that is what we call the high veld. Everything east of that we call the low veld. Low veld meaning low-lying rangelands, and high veld meaning high-lying rangelands. The difference between the two areas would be altitude, and that would lead to frost. The difference in frost will lead to difference in structure. So down in the low veld we get no frost. That's why we get more trees, and the high veld, only trees that are very well adapted to frost will grow there, normally in your ravines and that sort of thing, but very, very open grasslands in a huge proportion of the high veld. Okay, so I'm going to dare to try and move because we would like to get down to Chitwa eventually. So Bex, I'm going to start moving, and I am sorry if we lose signal, but we are on a mission. So it seems the best thing to do is to go to someone who's got signal. Let's go over to Brent, who seems to be in a very stable place.
Yes, well, we're very close to the Gawi repeater that we just had a look at. So we've just popped out onto Impala Plains. And I think that wildebeest we saw, obviously this is one of his patches in his territory, because there's no wildebeest here at the moment. Oh dear. So as I said, I'm going to loop here along the western sections, see if Shidulu pops out somewhere. She was in that general area. And then I'm going to sort of slowly loop back towards Hokamori as we get closer towards the evening. Senzo, Hokamori. Okay, quickly across to Taylor, who's got some swine.
So we've got some piggies at Quarry Pan. Well, they moved away from the pan because of us, unfortunately. So what we're doing now is we're just sitting very quietly. I'm not going to move the vehicle at all. And I want to see how desperate they are for a drink. Because if they are desperate enough, they should just come back, and it would be quite beautiful to see them having a drink of water and perhaps even wallowing in the mud. A little Sunday afternoon jacuzzi time. Come on, pigs. You guys didn't run away, so I know you want to come back here. Just do it. I feel like they're not scared of us. Otherwise, they would have carried on and booked it straight into the bushes. But they're lingering. So let's see if there's going to be one brave one. It's basically, it's a patience game. And this is also where the last of the tracks are for Tandy and that little one. Who knows, maybe Tandy's going to pop out the bushes and try and catch one of these piggies. But somebody else has joined us at the watering hole. It's just behind some grass at the moment. It looks like a turtle dove on its way for a drink. It's not too frightened of us. Come on, warthogs. If a dove is not frightened of us, then you surely have got nothing to be worried about. Now, you can see it's not a red-eyed dove because it doesn't have a red eye. But even the turtle dove, a little bit nervous to come down. Not because of us. I think because of all sorts of critters that lurk below those murky waters. It was a quick drink, hey? In and out. Well, it's just resting on a little perch. Yeah, there's the other one. I was going to say, it's a bit strange that there aren't two of them. You don't often get to see just one turtle dove on its own. Are you going to be brave enough to come down as well? They're beautiful birds, especially with that golden light on them. All the different types of greys and sort of tones of brown. And, of course, the prominent black markings. But a bird that's often overlooked out here. Being very careful. And it's quiet. Maybe they've seen something else. Oh, look, there's even a little waxbill to the left, Darby, that have come down to drink. Look at this. Yay, a little bird party. And laughing dove, but that's beautiful, that waxbill. Blue waxbill, hopping on 2 feet, coming down to have a quick drink. There was another one too. Wait. Also not staying around for too long. Laughing dove coming in. All very cautious. I wonder if those are not Tandy's tracks there, sort of below the bird's feet. It looks like there's some footprints in the mud. And they look fairly fresh too, from this angle. Come on, have a drink. Get it over and done with. Very nervous, this one. Not certain as to what's going on or who's going to try and surprise it. And we were talking about this yesterday, as birds and various mammal species are exceptionally vulnerable when they are taking a drink, because they are focusing, of course, on getting as much water in as possible. Our pigs have disappeared, Darby. That didn't work. Okay. Well, it was quite nice to see all sorts of things coming down for a drink. Hi, pigs. We'll let them come back. Now, Clifford, you're wondering if the warthogs can squeal. Yes, very loudly. They squeal. They were making a weird sound just now. Let me try and do it. No, does it sound like that, Darby? A little bit? I don't know how to make it, but it was like a rumble. It's a funny noise that warthogs do. And they kind of do it when they're a little bit nervous, because they do it with the expression, they lift their heads up a little bit as if they're trying to see better. And it was quite funny that they do. They make all sorts of noises. So they grunt and they squeal. Normally you only hear a warthog squealing when a leopard's got its claws into it, or a hyena or lion, anything like that. Then you typically hear them squeal. Now, this area is a favorite area of Tandy. So we're just going to check very carefully. She loves Drakensberg Road. She loves Central. She loves all these spots. And it's nice. And lots of impala around here. Lots of different vegetation for the animals to feed on. So that will bring them on in. Oh, that's actually very pretty, hey? I'm going to very quickly show you one thing, because that's so stunning. I know Steve was showing you the Drakensberg, but that is a magical view, one of the higher points here on Djuma. Lovely. Perfect evening. I think we're going to have a great sunset. But off we go to Brent, who's got his second really good early sighting.
Well, I've spotted an elephant who's got a fang-like tusk, but it's not as big as, or not as pronounced as fang, but she's disappeared. That's not her. There they are. They just were crossing the open area and they're now disappeared into some quite thick guarri thickets, unfortunately. Oh, anyway. We've had such lovely elephant sightings this afternoon, so it is what it is. They want to go eat in the thickets, they're more than welcome to. They might pop up on the other side, so I'm just going to go around. Oh, good question from Rick. Rick is wondering, what do elephant teeth look like? Well, apart from the tusks, of course, which are quite visible, an elephant has a sort of a really big, solid tooth with lots of little grooves in it. I don't know how to describe what an elephant tooth looks like. Let me try and think about this for a second. I think, Rick, the best way to figure out what an elephant tooth looks like is Google elephant tooth. I don't know how to describe it, but a big male's elephant, the tooth can be sort of about that long, and then depending on the wear from feeding, it's got grooves and lighter and darker patches. I've actually got some fossilized elephant teeth at home I found in Zululand. Also got a piece of fossilized elephant tusk that I found in the low files. Okay, I got a feeling they're going to pop out here, and the light should be incredible. Well, thank you, Taylor McCurdy, who is sending me a picture of an elephant tooth to my phone. That is very kind of you, Taylor. I hope she remembers to use my South African number, not my Kenyan number, because I'm not going to get the one on the Kenyan number. Oh dear, no, it doesn't look like. I thought the front runners of the herd might be ready to pop out here. It looks like they've stopped in the center to munchty. Yes, they have. Doesn't look like they're coming out. Oh dear. Well, you win some, you lose some. Oh, wonderful. It seems like it's an pachyderm-filled afternoon, so let's go across to Steve, who's got some more wellies.
Yeah, thanks very much, Brent. We've got 3 elephant right here next to the car. This youngster's a little bit too old to be suckling, but it seems as if Mum is pregnant, so it's possible that her mammary glands are producing milk again for the new baby that's probably on its way. She's right next to us. If you're quite relaxed, I apologize for the aerial as Seb turns the car. They've been walking straight towards us and they're just walking past us now. As the fork-tailed drongo is following them, picking up on any insects that the elephants flush from the grass. Isn't that marvelous? We are at Chitwa now, just above the dam currently, and we found ourselves some elephant. How marvelous is that? They are more in the distance we can hear. Seb can apparently see them. I haven't managed to see them, so we're going to come around, go down to the dam, see if we can get another look. I might even just try and get another look at this elephant here. She is very pretty. Very pretty, Mama. Very, very pretty. She's tolerating that youngster suckling. But if she does give birth to a baby, she'll have to prevent that one from suckling, because he's a bit old now to be nursed. Ooh, a fork-tailed drongo. The fork-tailed drongo has annoyed that little boy. We can tell it's a little boy. Hello. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. Hello. Isn't he precious? Isn't he precious? Oh, shake your head, young sir. Isn't that fantastic? That just made my day. And just like that, the naughty little elephant bull retreats back into the vegetation where Mom has gone. Isn't that fantastic? I love elephants. I love it when they behave like that and show us their humorous side. Okay, well, thank you for that performance. I'm sure a lot of the viewers back home would have enjoyed that as much as I did. Okay, let's go down to the dam, have a little look at some hippos, see if those elephant, wherever they are in the distance, are going to materialize. What is that over there? Okay, well, we're going to go over to Taylor, who's got a picture. I think she's being a dentist today. Let's go see what she's going to talk about.
A dentist? I'm trying to find the picture now. Here's a nice up-close one. We can have a look. I hope my screen's not too dirty. Oh, at least we're not on the sun. Aha! Oh, hang on. You know what we can do, David? Oh, no, never mind. We can't because it's already... I was going to turn the light up, but it's okay. There we go. There are the elephant's molars, so you can kind of see that diamond shape in there, which is where the Latin name Loxodonta africana comes from. It describes the diamond shape in their teeth. You can see it. And basically, the older ones are here on this side. So this is where the end of the jaw is, and then this is the back of the jaw on the right-hand side of the phone. So they push up from the right-hand side and move forward like a conveyor belt. And you can see, look how worn that one is on the far left. You see how there's sort of no grooves whatsoever. So that's just natural deterioration from feeding on all sorts of things. And then I'm going to show you another one. I just need to find it. It's somewhere here. There we go. That's the one I want. Right. It wants to go that way. Sorry, David. There we go. So this is an elephant skull that unfortunately died on Buffel's hook. And you can see these, there's all the teeth. So this is the top jaw that we're looking at. This is the entire head. And those big gaping holes are where the tusks would have come out of. They did remove the tusks. We do remove the ivory. if an animal does die over here. But it's quite cool, don't you think? Very cool to see. Now, Thomas, you're wondering what would you do if you were to find an elephant tusk on the ground? I think it depends. I probably wouldn't pick it up. I would notify the Sabi Sandwildtuin. I would give them a call in where I am and say, we have found an elephant tusk. Would you like to collect it? Would you like us to hold it in an area for you? But of course you're at risk if you're holding something like that. People come and poach these animals for their ivory. So I probably just leave it in the bush and give the location of where it was to the conservation team. They would then come and collect it, and I would assume that they have a big vault or safe of sorts where they will keep rhino horn, where they will keep elephant tusks, if anything like that is of course found on the property. And of course if they do catch poachers and they confiscate horns from them, that's where they'll go. Now, looking at those teeth, Fox, you were wondering if the teeth ever fall out or they just wear away completely. They actually do fall out. Sometimes the elephants, most of the times, in fact, the elephant just ends up swallowing them, like you would as a kid when you lose your milk teeth, your baby teeth, and then they come out in the dung. Or maybe they could come loose, biting down on something hard, one that's at the end of its job. I suppose it's not going to be doing its job if it's smooth. So you're very lucky. And I've only ever found it once before in the Eastern Cape, some elephant teeth, which were quite cool, which are at home somewhere. I was naughty, I stole them. It was amazing. Right, now, something that's really quite fun to watch is, of course, elephants that are about to have a swim. And it seems as though Steve's elephants are very excited about the water.
Yes, thanks very much, Taylor. We have a breeding herd of elephants that's about to surround us, and then a whole lot of them down by the water itself right now having a drink. And there's two very cute and very playful little babies there. Strawhead, do elephants get jealous of newborn siblings? I've never heard of them doing that. I think they like to play with each other. They might get quite boisterous, but I don't think they get jealous. They enjoy the company. We are surrounded right now by elephants. And now this other female, is probably the one with the baby. See, they're quite relaxed. She's going to walk right in front of us now. You can see her eyes. I can see her eyes are very soft. She's going to come as close as she wants to. She's very relaxed. It's only a meter in front of my car now. It's okay, Mama. Here comes the youngsters. Hello. Hello. Isn't that just precious? It is absolutely precious. And we've got another one here who's being very boisterous. And the rest of the herd is about to come now. And this is the smallest member of the herd. And she's about to come past the car. They're very excited. Look at her. Oh, him, I don't know. Hello. Hello, Mama. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, folks, that is just the most beautiful thing I think I've ever seen. Wasn't that just so precious? Okay, I'm going to turn around again and then we can have a look at them drinking. You notice that they weren't bothered by us at all. They saw us a long time ago. They heard us. They smelt us. They walked right past. And the behavior of the babies, if the adults were not relaxed, those babies, you wouldn't even see them. They'll just disappear inside the herd. Seb, I'm not going to go too much further. I think this is going to work, eh? Are you happy with that?
Yes.
Okay. Let me just move my head. What more can you do than just observe? So what I was saying is that if the elephants weren't relaxed, they wouldn't have come as close to us as they did. And if they weren't relaxed, the babies would disappear. You wouldn't really notice the communication happen, but you would see the babies disappear in amongst the herd, and they would form sort of like a phalanx around them with the bigger females protecting them. And even though they were relaxed, my heart is still beating. It's being surrounded by elephants like that is such a special feeling. And they've chased the Egyptian geese off the island. But look at that little baby. That little baby is, I think it might be the umbilical cord. Actually, you say that, Bex. It is absolutely gorgeous. Look at him. Oh, my word. Keeping up with Mum. How beautiful is that? It's more ears than anything else. So if that female was not relaxed, you wouldn't see that youngster. It wouldn't be just running around like that. And they're about to join. The frame is about to open, and you're about to see all the elephants in the herd doing their thing. Absolutely sensational. We come here quite often, but you can never get bored of a sighting like this of elephants at Chitwa Dam. Absolutely fantastic. And what is happening on the left-hand side, folks, is there's an enormous herd of buffalo that is coming down to drink. I don't know what to do, Seb. Are we going to look at elephant? Are we going to look at buffalo? Let's look at the ellies for a while longer. Okay, let's go across to the buff. They're emerging down to the water's edge en masse to drink. And this is fantastic. There they come. What would the viewers like to see? Elephants, buffalo, both of them. There's a huge herd of buffalo still coming through the bushes there. They always drink at least twice a day. So I'm going to hold off speaking shortly. We've got the little young elephant on this side. It's busy having a swim just above my head here. Look at that. Hello, little one. Isn't it having so much fun? Oh, this is marvelous. It's just legs everywhere. Everywhere the thing goes, it's just legs. Good afternoon and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are at Chitwa Dam with a herd of elephants, a pod of hippos, and an enormous herd of buffalo that is coming down to drink. Please feel free to drop your comments in below. My name is Steve Falconbridge. I'm joined by Seb Rombi on camera. We've come down in the late afternoon to try capture some animals at the water's edge, and we have been very fortunate with not only the small breeding herd and their young baby that is absolutely loving the water. Look at that. Look at the eyes. The eyes are open with the complete excitement. Coming from Djuma in the Sabi Sands, Chitwa Dam. I have no words, folks. I have no words for this. This is the cutest thing you'll ever see. It's still got its umbilical cord attached. It's following Mum very closely. It has had an absolutely lovely little swim. And the others behind there are also enjoying a bit of a swim. Elephants need to drink a lot of water every day, and they are the only animals I know of that play like this. They come down to the water to swim, to cool themselves, and there's an enormous enjoyment factor behind it. Yes, Michelle, it is a beautiful, beautiful elephant family, and they are drinking and swimming and having an absolute whale of a time. There they go. When you weigh as much as an elephant, being in water makes them quite buoyant. So it's the first time in their life that they can feel the weightlessness of their enormity. With the sun setting in the background, the elephant herd to the right is slowly going off into the sunset, with the littlest member of the group right next to Mum's legs. It is just too cute. She'll stay close to Mum for the first most years of her life. She'll stay. All kids, Lynn, like to play in water. Indeed, splash around. It is a marvelous time for them. There's nothing more fun than watching elephant. Yes, Maggie, this elephant brings me so much joy too. Before we went live on this broadcast, we had them actually walk right next to the car, and the youngster barged its older sibling out the way, so it didn't come as close to us as it was going to, and was really quite special, as the elephants seemed to have finished their play and finished their drink. They're going to slowly make their way off into the vegetation to continue their seemingly endless feeding. Nice and wet and cool for the afternoon, with a smile on its face. They almost look very chuffed, don't they? Roman, we are coming to you from the Sabi Sands in the Great Kruger National Park, South Africa, and that youngster is trying to suckle. That's not a youngster. That is a huge elephant is trying to suckle, and it's being tolerated. What are you doing? That's very interesting. It's probably his mom anyway, or her mom. Looks like a he. Wow. And Mum looks like she's pregnant, so it's possible that she's lactating because she's got a baby on the way. So we're in Djuma. We're actually at Chitwa Dam in the Sabi Sands, Kruger National Park, northeastern part of South Africa, in the province of Mpumalanga. And there we get the elephants as they start to move over the dam wall. Now, before we lose sight of anything else, we're going to go a little bit onto the left of the dam, where we have an enormous herd of buffalo that have come down to drink. And the buffalo, when they come to drink, they basically drop almost their diaphragm, you could say, and they can take in about 36 liters of water in a couple of minutes. It's an enormous amount of water to take in. And there they are, nice big breeding herd. And they're just having a look at another vehicle. A vehicle has come into the sighting, one of the Chitwa vehicles. They've come to have a look at these beautiful, dangerous animals, one of the big five. And we always seem to have lion prides following the buffalo. So it's a nice animal species to follow. They are very easy to follow because of the mess that they leave behind and the tracks. Pradeep wants to know if that baby elephant running is not going to get tired. Well, Mum will keep her pace exactly where it needs to be to facilitate that youngster. She won't run as far or go as far as she would with older siblings or older offspring, but with the younger ones, she has to match her pace and the distance she goes to that one's energy. So I hope that answers your question. We still have her on the dam wall with the youngster, which is now catching up on a little bit of milk from Mum's belly, from Mum's mammary gland. There she is, right underneath. Is she suckling? No, she's just sheltering underneath Mum. Basically telling Mum, okay, Mum, I'm tired, we can't run anymore. And Mum won't go any further than she needs to. Just gently walk with her until they get to where they need to. The trumpet of the youngster that is trying to climb the hill. Well, while we watch the last scenes of this youngster, very hard trying to climb up onto the wall, we're going to say goodbye to all of you viewers on this short broadcast, and thank you for joining us. If you'd like to continue watching, we are still live for another 45 minutes, half an hour. So please just Google Safari Live and follow us, and we'll see you later. Have a fantastic evening. And you're back with us, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've been enjoying this little scene unfolding in front of us at Chitwa Dam. It is always a very nice place to come to at this time of day. We're always rewarded with marvelous scenes. And there's nothing quite as majestic as a herd of elephant moving across the dam wall. I might try and get us a bit closer to these buffaloes, Seb. What do you think? We've seen some nice ellie shots there. Let's go and have a look and see. Ah. Okay, well, we're going to quickly go over to Brent, who's got some action.
Well, there we go. Hukamuri's up in the tree, and there's actually I can see two. There might be a few more hyenas about as well below him. So he's taken up what little remnants of food he had, and he's really just trying to get the last little meat out of the vertebra there. Oh, isn't that beautiful? And you can see the hyenas hoping for him to drop whatever little is left. So someone asked a bit earlier today whether the hyenas were still around or they'd gone away. As I said, they were just sleeping somewhere close by. There's very little food left on there. And what makes hyenas so incredible that they are able to survive off the little scraps. They do hunt a lot for themselves, but their patience is undeniable when it comes to... Oh, here's another hyena. Okay, so now we've got 3 hyenas. There's one coming in from behind us. And we've got this one right under the tree. We've got lots of ticks. Are those ticks or wounds? Let's zoom up on the neck there. The wounds. Battle-scarred hyena. There goes a hyena coming in from behind you. Which side is it going to come? To your right, Sens. Here we go. Another hyena coming in. Oh, watch out. I just dropped my head. Coming right around the front of the car. Now, there we go. Look at that. Now, Toon is wondering, how do you tell male and female hyenas apart? Generally, you look at their tummies. So the tummies is sort of the easiest way to tell a male and female hyena apart. The male's, that's definitely a female, but the male's stomach sort of graduates upwards in a sort of straight line, whilst the female's is a bit more rounded. There's a third, there's the third hyena just walking past. Oh, it's disappeared. Let's have a look at Hukamuri up there in the tree again. Oh, quickly across to Steve.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, for those sensitive viewers, we are having something very special happen right now. Can you see those hooves? There is a female buffalo giving birth right now, live. There it is. Look at that. That is the nose and the feet coming through. You can see all the mucus of the placenta coming out. The buffalo herd is standing very vigilant around this female. Unbelievable. I've never ever seen anything like this in my life. Ah, look at those hooves. Sorry that the other buffalo are moving in the way. There's nothing we can do about it. Good afternoon, a very warm welcome to all of you on this stream. Please pay attention. We have got a female buffalo that is giving birth live on the show, happening in real time. This is a Cape buffalo. We're not going to go away from it. My name is Steve Falconbridge, and we've got Seb Rombi on camera. Please feel free to send your comments through to on the chat below. Let us know what you think, your questions. This is happening. The Cape buffalo giving birth right in front of us. I've never ever seen anything quite like this before. She doesn't seem too stressed, but the herd is quite anxious. It's quite a tricky position to be in. I'm not sure how long this is supposed to take, but you can see the hooves and the nose of that youngster as it's starting to come out. Incredible stuff, ladies and gentlemen. We will have other vehicles in the sighting, so if you do hear vehicles, we do apologize. Yes, Linda. Linda, she can do it. She can do it. Yes, she can. See, the hooves themselves are very unscratched. Yes, Michelle. Fantastic stuff. Amazing, Michelle. I'm speechless. I don't really know what to say. Yes, Pauline, those are the front feet of the hooves and the nose. You can see other youngsters jumping around. This one seems to be a little bit late. They generally breed in January, so this one's about 2 months late. I don't know if this is normal that it's taking so long, but you can see how the other buffalo are very interested. They know what's going on. The males are standing around in guard. They know that they can't move off because this female will not be able to follow them for some time. And as I said, we are joined by other vehicles in the sighting, so I do apologize if you do hear the other vehicles. Yes, Grace, this is unbelievable stuff. We are very lucky indeed. Barbara would like to know if the baby would be breathing. It doesn't seem like it is. I don't know, actually. I mean, the eyes are still closed. I was watching for some breath. I think maybe it needs to hit the floor before it will start breathing. Hit the floor to sort of stimulate those lungs. Absolutely incredible. Live, folks, is happening in real time. Sad indeed, this is a first for me. I've never in my life seen an animal give birth. I've seen an elephant at the end of birth, but I actually didn't see the process unfold. So there are the vehicles. You probably hear vehicles moving around. There's the head starting to come out. Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, the final push. There we go. The hardest part is done. Come on, ma'am. Be a good mother. Squeeze. There we go. This is so incredible, ladies and gentlemen. So incredible. Come on, mama. Everyone's cheering her. We're all cheering her. One final push and we'll see the explosion of fluids as the baby is ejected out. There we go. The eyes are open. The eyes are open, ladies and gentlemen. Here it comes. Final push. The ears are starting to twitch. Happy birthday, baby buffalo. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my word. Did you see that? And out comes the placenta. Now the female will turn around and lick the baby. She'll lick it, try and get it to stand up. It needs to stand up within minutes after birth so as to be able to follow the herd. This is a very dangerous time for a baby buffalo to be on the ground. Predators will come in. They will pick out the easiest and the quickest to catch. And that's why the buffalo stand around very, very alert. They would be very, very aggressive towards a lion or a leopard that decided to come in here. Just one of the chitwa vehicles coming around. Obviously, this is fantastic stuff to see. There we can see one of the bulls standing over. Yes, Tally, it is amazing. They know what's going on. They know that she's giving birth. It's not the first youngster in the herd. There's quite a few of them, but she is a bit late. She's a bit late. There's the herd. They're all standing by. Normally, they would have left by now after drinking, make their way out. How fantastic was that? That was live, ladies and gentlemen. Ionisha there, you can see she's busy licking her. She'll lick the baby, get all of that placental juice and fluid off of her. It's also important because the mother will often eat the placenta to get back those nutrients that she's lost during the birth. I know that might sound quite disgusting to most of you back home, but it's part and parcel what happens out here. They do lose a lot of energy in processes like that, and it will benefit her immensely to be able to clean that baby. And the baby, there you can see its head in the bottom left of the picture. Yusuf says it's very fast. Yes, I don't know how long it's supposed to take, but the herd was probably here for about 15 minutes before we came and joined them. So it's possible that that baby's nose and feet were protruding the entire time. Very unsure. One of the other guides was watching when we came and said she's giving birth. Melanie would like to know when will it stand. It'll stand as soon as it can. I reckon between 10 and 15 minutes, the youngster will get up on very unsteady legs, and it will have to follow the herd as it moves away from the water. And this is probably going to be the hardest few hours of its life, but if it makes it through the night, it will only get better. Jason, you have goosebumps. I think we all have goosebumps. Look at her. What a proud mother she is. Probably not her first offspring. She looks like she's a few years of age. Probably in her late teens, even. Not late teens, but there you can still see the placenta hanging out of her. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to go any closer for fear of disturbing them. We're going to stay right where we are. I know you're all hoping it'll stand up soon. I don't know how many minutes. Seb, have you seen this before?
Amazing.
Seb thinks this is amazing. He's never seen it before. I don't know how many minutes it'll take, but it'll stand up in the next little while. Not sure how long, but let's keep watching and see what happens. Lisa would like to know how long the herd will wait before they leave. I don't know, Lisa. It really depends on the status of this female. If this is one of the lead females, the herd will wait until she's ready to move. If this is one of the old sort of females that's got no status anymore, she's not really an important breeding female or a herd matriarch, then the herd will maybe just leave her behind. But, oh, there we go. She's trying to get it to stand up. She's trying to get it to stand up. Ravinda would like to know how far the smell of birth would go. I honestly don't know. I know a lot of the animals out here, when they give birth, the baby itself is actually almost completely free of scent. It's another reason why the mother licks them. But the afterbirth itself must have some form of smell. Will definitely attract some hyena in the night, but there's not a breath of air at the moment. It requires a little bit of air to carry the scent. And as we're sitting here, it is cool. There is no wind whatsoever. And she's a very proud mother. Look at her. She's smiling for the camera going, "Did you get that? I would like a copy. One for the photo album." Kathy would like to know if the hippos would come and investigate. I don't know if they would. It's possible they'd walk past. I mean, it's not unlikely that a crocodile might come up and find the afterbirth. They can smell meat and stuff on the banks. It's only about maybe 50, 60 meters from the river's edge itself, and there were some crocodiles in the water before. There's a nice, decent herd of buffalo. You can see they just know that something's going down in the herd, and they're very, very relaxed and willing to wait it out. I think she's quite a high-ranking female, and the herd is very, very willing to allow her to do her thing and allow the next generation of dominance, because that youngster, if she is a dominant female, will inherit her mom's status within the herd. Absolutely sensational. Absolutely sensational, ladies and gentlemen. Shaking it off. Is it going to try to stand up? Come on, everybody, let's give it some support. I think it's trying. Where all the cheerleaders out there? Come on, young buffalo. Paula would like to know if there was something wrong with the baby. Would they reject it or attack it? They would probably just leave it behind if there's something wrong with it. If it can't get up and follow the herd, it will not be able to survive. Mom might stay a day or two. If the youngster's deformed or has something wrong with it, it'll basically stay where it is, and it'll be very quickly taken care of by animals such as lion, hyena, and even leopard. Lynn, we don't know if any predators are directly in the area. We do know that Tingana was seen in Chitra Lodge itself this morning, which is just on the other side of the dam from where we are now. And it's possible that this activity of the buffalo might attract his attention. We are keeping our eyes very firmly on everywhere where we can see, but there are other vehicles in the sighting. I'm sure if they spotted a leopard moving in, they'd be very quick to tell us. But the buffalo would be very quick to tell that Tingana, the male leopard, what to do with himself. They will have absolutely nothing to do with him if he comes anywhere near. Not only is he a threat to that newborn, he is a threat to a number of the other calves within the herd, and their ultimate life is dependent on the big males that are hanging around, just waiting for any form of agnostic behavior from a predator. So folks, we're going to say goodnight to you from this medium. Thank you for joining us. If you'd like to continue watching, please Google Safari Live. We are still on air for another 15 minutes. We're going to stay here, see if this youngster manages to stand. So for all your questions and comments, I thank you. Have a fantastic evening. The hippos are shouting. It is getting to their time of night when they are wanting to emerge from the waters for feeding. And look at that buffalo. How marvelous is this, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to all our regular internet viewers. We're all cheering for this buffalo to stand. I wonder how long it will take. The mother is very, very excited to welcome the new member to the herd. What a beautiful mother she is, and how well she did in that childbirth. Here we go. It's trying with the front legs. Okay, so seeing as I'm stealing all the action in the show, let's go for a quick update to Brent and Hukumuri.
Well, Hukumuri is still munching on the remnants of that kudu carcass. Not much left, so it's unlikely he's going to be here tomorrow. He'll probably be out on the move, patrolling his recently gotten territory. And it'll be interesting to see if him and Tingana eventually ever do come to blows. But incredible to see a live buffalo birth with Steve. That is absolutely amazing. Isn't that exciting? A live buffalo birth. Very, very cool. Not something you see every day. So, well done, Steve. Right place at the right time. We're going to sit here with Hukumuri for a bit longer. I think he might come down the tree in the next little bit. So, we're going to keep watching him. So, let's have a look. And there's almost nothing left on that carcass at the moment. Here we go. He's definitely not... Oops! Where are the hyenas? He's just dropped it. He's going down quickly. The hyenas might come rushing in. Yeah, the hyenas are running in. Oh dear, Hukumuri. That wasn't very clever. Oh, happy hyena. Tail up. Chasing off the leopard. There he goes. He's in front of us. Through there. Okay. He's stopped now. But there we go. Wasn't that exciting? I mean, it didn't look like anything exciting was going to happen here, and Steve had all the action. But the hyenas definitely came in at the right time as he lost concentration slightly and dropped that vertebra. Now, I want to make sure we don't lose him, because I have to say, I think he's going to move now. And in this low light, you can lose a leopard in a few seconds. There we go. Let's have a quick look at the hyena munching. Crunch, crunch. Well, there was almost nothing left, to be honest, so he didn't lose too much. quickly back across to Steve.
This youngster is trying, ladies and gentlemen. Can hear your support from afar. The front legs have tried, the back legs have tried. Now he just needs to get them at the same time. Mum is being very patient and very accommodating to this new addition. She's giving him a proper lick all over. We don't want to go any closer. We don't want to disturb them in any way. Not only has that young buffalo not ever seen a car before, it's never seen grass before, never seen anything before. Now it is surrounded by family. It is a new day for it, even though it is night, coming into night. I don't think it knows quite what is going on. And the temperatures have dropped a little bit, and it's possible that it's a little bit cold because it's so wet. Hello, Aiden, age 6. Here we go. You'd like to know if the baby could hurt its head on the drop to the ground, and it is very possible. But these animals have been breeding like this for many, many, many years. And so if it did influence, then they would change their ways. So what often happens is the fall to the ground, actually, they fall kind of sideways and they land with their legs, because their legs come out the same time as the head. They kind of land on those front legs. That kind of hits the lungs between the front legs, and that almost stimulates them to take a gasp of air. Here we go. Mum's helping it up. Come on, there we go, little one. Oh, my word. It's very shaky. It's very shaky on its legs. Look at the umbilical cord. This is so cute. I have no words, ladies and gentlemen. I have absolutely no words. What a proud mama. What a little gorgeous baby that is. Come on, take a few more steps forward. Oh, I absolutely love my job. This is a terrible way to spend the afternoon. Seb said to me when he came out he wants a very interesting drive today because he hasn't had an interesting drive in a few days. And so I said, don't worry, good vibes, we'll get one. And lo and behold, we had one of the cutest elephant bumps. There he goes. One of the cutest elephant sightings with the young babies. And now we've got a live buffalo birth caught on Safari Live. Isn't that just the most incredible thing? That is, I think, the most incredible thing I've ever seen. The live birth, waiting to get it to stand up. Everyone's sitting on the edge of their seat. We've got leopards and hyenas on the other end of the phone, and yet we want to watch a baby buffalo, don't we? Yes, we do. You don't get to see this every day, folks. In my 10 years in the bush, I've never seen this before. We are very, very lucky. Right time and right place is all it is. Young buffalo is still struggling. The rest of the herd is slowly starting to bed down. Get the feeling they might have taken the cue from this mum and are going to just relax a little bit, take their time, wait for the morning before moving off. There you can see them. Okay, folks, so from us this side, we got the baby. He did stand up, but we're going to go over to Brent, who's got some action. Hukumuri is walking. Let's go see where he's off to.
Oh, he is. He's just popped out onto the road. Unfortunately for us, he's heading in the wrong direction. So, sorry, I've just got a car behind me, so I just need to make sure they can see him as well. Just do that. Oh, he's coming back. That's good of you. Having a good smell. Good scent mark. Maybe we'll get lucky and he'll give us a little call. Oh, he is a beautiful boy. And he's definitely setting up shop now. He wouldn't take that much time scent marking and whatnot if he didn't feel comfortable in this area. I love it when male leopards do that. Put their head into the trees, giving a good sniff before scent marking. Okay, let's move again. I think he might go for a drink at the pan. He's just gone down to the water, just behind this bush here. Well, it seems like Steve has got lots and lots of babies today.
Yes, we do. We just had the little baby hippo out the water. He's gone back in. Bex wants to know, what am we doing to her today? Because there's lots of babies, and there's another one about to emerge just here on the left. Seb, it looks like that youngster is about to come out. Just being spoken to. Hang on a second. Standing by. Yeah, last I heard he's mobile towards the boundary, but that's all I could hear. But he's scent marking and moving towards Gary. Okay, so that hippo is being shy. He's gone back into the water. Seems like we have been having an amazing afternoon for babies and the like. And how marvelous is that? How marvelous is that? Well, we're going to start carrying on. We're going to head back to camp, because what else could we see on this evening's activity? Thank you, Chitwa, for once again providing Seb and myself with some magical stuff. This is exactly where we came to on my interview drive, and again, it is full of wonders. And from myself and Seb, I think that might be our last little bit. We're going to go over to Taylor, and she's going to say goodnight herself.
Well, we've got no good updates for you. No tracks of Shidulu, a young female leopard coming out of anywhere. So good news means that she's probably around here in the bush somewhere. So we will come back and check first thing tomorrow morning. Have a little look. I'll be on bushwalk though. And that's the plan. We'll see what we can find and try it all again. But anyways, off you go across to Brent. His cat is having another drink.
There he was. He had a quick little drink at the pan, and now he's sort of trying to decide which way to go next. I'm hoping he heads sort of northeast, deeper into Djuma, and not south away from Djuma. And we're very, very close to the boundary, no more than about 60 meters. So, as I say, really hoping that he decides to not head south at all. Just listening now. He'll probably not move too far before resting up at the moment. With that full belly, he probably will sleep a little. Oh, listen. There we go. I was hoping he'd give us a little saw. So, proclaiming territory. And I'm pretty sure if Tingana's at Chitwa, he'll hear that from... He'll definitely hear Hokomori calling. And good news again, he's heading deeper into Djuma. He's not heading towards the boundary anymore. Isn't that exciting? That's very, very good news. Unfortunately, he's just passing behind a vehicle there. I'm just going to see where he's moving, where he's very, very close to the cars. And he's not as relaxed as the other male leopards around the vehicles. So I'm not going to move the car just yet. I'm just going to wait till I can see that he's far enough away. He is. Okay, hold on. Looks like he might take a walk down towards Treehouse Waterhole. Oh, he's right behind me. He popped up right behind me. I'm going to have to wait for him to pass. Where is he? Sense? Is he gone now? Okay, thanks. Changed his mind, decided to walk right past the car, even while I was moving. Okay, well, it's nearly the end of the safari. I'm going to try and get you one last view of the magnificent Hokomori. as he walks down towards Treehouse Dam. So we've got a good idea about where to start looking for him bright and early tomorrow morning. Oh, there he is. We're going to let him disappear around the corner on his way to Treehouse Waterhole. Hopefully we'll have luck with him tomorrow morning while he continues on his territorial takeover of Djuma. So from all of us here at Safari Live, bon nuit, and see you in the morning.